Our biggest problem is that we adapt to tyranny. Our biggest problem is we have been conditioned to go along to get along and then incrementally be dehumanized. I was thinking before I went live, watching the president speak at CPAC. He just concluded. We're going to be airing excerpts of that. Wayne LaPierre of the NRA. Vice President Pence. What a great vice president. Just awesome. Just so well-spoken, so gentlemanly, so Christian, so focused, so dedicated, so real. Amazing. But side issue. Pence is really growing on me. Because we're getting to know him. See, mainstream media gets between us and other people. And that's what hit me is there's Trump's approval rating now at 50%. And that's out from Rasmussen and similar things show he's upticking on other big so-called poll systems. It's more like 65, and that's why they're panicking so hard, just like I told you during the election. I've studied the polls. You can study them. I'm not going to go back into how it works, but they oversample on purpose, 9 to 15 points on average for Democrats. And that's why you have that major disparity. They just say, America is a Democratic Party system, and they just sell that lie. Well, we're not Democrats, and we're not Republicans either. We want freedom. We want America. We want common sense. We want free market. We want the American dream. Get off our back. That's who we are. That's who we are. And there's old people and young people and Christians and libertarians and black people, white people, gay people. It's just folks that don't want to be in a box and know the Democratic Party are a bunch of corrupt criminals working with a bunch of disgusting blue blood Republican trash who have been parasiting off of us and trying to dumb us down so they can control us and then writing white papers admitting it. And I felt raped this morning, but not in a victim way, with a revulsion of how much I disdain CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post and MSNBC because they're consciously liars. They're consciously criminals. They're consciously, with psych warfare, trying to create as much racism and sexism and division as they can. And again, it's in the WikiLeaks. It's in their white papers. They all write academic reports on it. Gruber, gets up on TV and says, I'm here to lie to these dumbasses. God, they're idiots. And that's what's frustrating to me, is that they superimpose, they do everything they can to keep you from actually hearing what I have to say. They do everything they can to keep you from what Trump's actually saying. They do everything to get in between all of us, even though Trump's super popular, even though Infowars is super popular, everything we go on has the highest ratings ever. They've got 10 different TV shows modeled after yours truly, but then misrepresenting who I am, trying to destroy me while they try to keep me from telling you who I really am. Think about that. More than 10 shows right now. I'm talking to Michael Savage. He goes, is that Homeland guy based on you? And I go, yeah. He goes, really, really? Some people think it is. I'm like, no, they say it is in hundreds of articles. And again, it's this thing where you're being destroyed. There are these characters based on you, and they're not even who you are. They steal your identity. And then Joe Rogan has his biggest podcast times double ever. And they try to censor it and block it and not let it go out, so I can't even talk to you. And what made me think of this was watching Trump speak, but also just realizing that the whole facade's coming down. I mean, they can't hide it. It's this whole fake CNN town hall thing. And then they're lying, saying it isn't fake. The whole thing's completely scripted. They always have been, just like the debates. That is the chance of lock her up and Hillary for prison 2016 that all originated right here on this transmission. And that's why they're trying to block us and trying to censor us, because we put out memes that are truth-based, and that's why they're viral. And I think that's going to be Infowars' new slogan. Not just that there's a war on for your mind, but Infowars. The truth is viral. In fact, you have Frigé trademark that right now. Thank you. Infowars. The truth is viral, and you can't stop the signal. Infowars. You can't stop the signal. And the reason I opened the broadcast up with that is it really hit me today. And when I say this, everybody's going to go, and you told us the grass is green and the sky's blue. I know that. I'm only telling you what you already know. But we tend to, again, adapt to the tyranny and just kind of go along with it because we don't want to be troublemakers. Well, if you look at where this goes incrementally, it goes to a very hellish place with open censorship against nationalists, against Christians, against libertarians, and then everybody else. And it's already started where they're just censoring everybody. Anybody super popular who is an establishment, particularly if they're liberal, but more of a classical liberal, they're being taken over. They're being attacked. Because if you got 20 billion views on YouTube, you know, we've only got like 6 billion. That's bigger than anything out there. If you're somebody like PewDiePie, and they came to him again 2 years ago and said, you give us control of your channel and you partner with YouTube. They're already running ads. They're already making 70% of the money. Or we're going to shut your ass down. And he didn't go along with them, and they started shutting him down and demonetized him. Think about how criminal that is. You sign a contract, you follow their rules, you're the most popular thing in the world. Adults are like, who's that? Believe me. You go to a high school or a junior high, and you're PewDiePie, it's like Elvis Presley showed up. Same thing with me, by the way. That's what really worries the globalist. I mean, I go to high school events and stuff from other schools with my children at it, and I mean, I walked in a hamburger place near a high school when I left early one day. It was like 3:34, and high schoolers came in, and I was mobbed like I was Elvis Presley. Now, that's what scares the globalist, because young people aren't buying into this stuff where they get sat down in a seat and they're told there's not two genders and all white people are bad. And by the way, it was Indian kids, it was Chinese kids, white kids, black kids mobbing me at this place. And I'm not bragging. I'm giving you the good news. But here's the bad news. If we just accept the massive censorship that's already kicking in, it's going to become total. And they're going to deplatform all of our finances, and I'm talking about you. You notice the big banks announced last week that they are now going to target the NRA, gun shops, and gun owners and not let you do business with them. Now, remember, if you're a gay couple and somebody doesn't bake your cake, you get $500,000. But if you're a libertarian or a conservative, oh, we have policies. You can't. They're talking about trying to not let Cabela's have credit card service or the NRA. That's in the news. Do you understand? That's what Hitler did to his political enemies starting in 33, 34, 35, 36. He first took political control in Germany, killed off the SA, people that brought him to power, and put the SS in, his Praetorian Guard. Then he started going after the finances and shutting down people's businesses and then herding them into ghettos. We're already being herded into electronic ghettos, a term Matt Drudge coined. At least I first heard it from him and looked it up, and he's the one it came from. Maybe he could correct me, but I mean, it is internet ghettos. And that's what we've been put in. Because we're the winners. Because we're #1. Drudge is the biggest website in the world, not just news. And what do the WikiLeaks say? What do the new documents that came out last week say? Just type it in. Soros is all over the news saying, ban Drudge in Europe. Just ban the URL. Do you understand the magnitude of that? Because we're promoting America and real freedom and real diversity and real tolerance and promoting what's successful and what's sexy and what works. America, with all its excess and problems, compare it to Venezuela or North Korea. Yeah, there's a new meme out. They think I'm Hitler and want me to take their guns away with Trump. Amazing. So think about the condescending, arrogant garbage from CNN and MSNBC when they stage the debates and give Hillary all the questions and then get caught lying about it and giving it to Donna Brazile. Or how they staged fake polls where they admitted that they polled Democrats 3-1 in some of these polls. They were taking 70% calls, admitting it, on phone polls from Democrats. And then wondered why Hillary, they said, was up at 60-something%. That's ridiculous. When the New York Times says there's a 97% chance Hillary wins. Horse manure. Wasn't even a real poll. They admitted it was. Our experts say this. They pull it out of their rear ends. So, Donna Brazile says she doesn't know how she gave him to Hillary. But remember, she's in the WikiLeaks giving him to Hillary, CNN giving him to her. Then she got caught lying about it. And now she doesn't remember how she gave him the questions. And then we forget the real question is, why were you given the questions? See, it's never a debate about what's in the WikiLeaks. It's always, oh, the bad people that gave them to us. It's like somebody peeks over your fence and sees you burying, your dead husband or your dead wife, and the police show up and go, why were you looking over their fence? Yeah, we found a dead body. We don't care about Mr. Smith and the dead body. You're going to jail as a peeping Tom, you piece of crap. And we have staged questions on screen. CNN has been absolutely caught in a beautiful derailment here. They've been staging these town halls since they started CNN in 1981. I've had my reporters get into them. They first screen you. They check the parking lot for bumper stickers. They put you through a screening process. And then they give you questions. And if you act like you're not going to follow it, you don't get in. And it's incredible. CNN are such liars. That's why I quit being interviewed by them, because they would always say, oh, we've got a car coming to get you, and you're going to be live. Yes, sir. You want to be live, you'll be live. And it probably happened 15 times where I'd show up, and I'd go, this host isn't on for 2 hours. Oh, you're right. We're taping it. And then they go for 20 minutes. And then they edit it down where it doesn't even make sense. They'll ask you one question, cut back to the person, and then cut back with another answer that wasn't even the same topic. Remember, Katie Couric got sued for that. I recorded the old sea hag Megyn Kelly doing the thing to me. They would edit stuff 10, 15 minutes apart on totally different subjects where I sounded like a lunatic on air. But total jump cuts. You know when it's edited, when there's a cut every second. Bloop, 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 bloop. Cut back to Kelly. Cut to a shot of the kids. Cut to a shot of Newtown. Cut to while I'm talking, because it's edited. Just like refrigerator magnets. You can write whatever you want with those things. And they just take them and move them all around. So, we're going to go to break. When we come back, CNN has now been caught not just staging all this stuff, but then lying about staging it. So CNN has been caught staging a town hall. Of course they staged them. And then they said, oh, we don't even hand out questions. And then they have blown up HD video of saying, here is your question, typed out by CNN. That's what they do. You're there as a prop. You're there in a production. Remember, CNN got caught staging with a movie director, Muslims at a vigil after a terror attack in London. And because the Muslims weren't going out and protesting the terror attack, they never do, against the infidels. So they just go get some people, and it turned out many of them were actors and weren't even Muslims. They were Sikhs and people. They just dressed up like Muslims. I mean, this is next level, ladies and gentlemen, and they do it over and over and over again like you're idiots. And it turned out it was a film crew doing it. Much of CNN is a PR company. They've been paid over $100 million by Qatar. I've had CNN producers on that went public years ago. Who was that attractive blonde reporter? And then she just went into private life. I think got married. The Lion, yeah. Amber, we need to get her on. Because she was there. They're like, Per show she was doing, they were paying them $300 and something thousand to cover up and to lie about the people they were torturing and killing. And she said, I'm not doing it. She'd go over there and have footage of them machine gunning people, and then CNN would tell her to put out the opposite. I mean, do you understand the criminal nature of these people? And hey, Amber Lyon wouldn't do it, even though she was award-winning, you name it. Bye-bye. They basically told her to resign. So she just left because she had integrity. Cheryl Atkinson published that the ATF was shipping guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. They said to get gun control passed as a false flag. They didn't shoot all the poor Mexicans, but they sure as hell shipped the guns down there to the criminals so they could kill them. If I give you a gun to go kill people, I'm just as guilty. And she got let go at CBS for that, didn't she? Because she had integrity. And you look at these scumbags on CNN and Cuomo saying, you're not allowed to read WikiLeaks. If you read WikiLeaks, you're going to go to jail. And reportedly, he's such a bully thug. He's a huge guy, you know, like 6'7", just his brother. I mean, they are criminals, in my view. And the people that know him up in New York say, oh, my God, they are. His brother's like, if you're a Christian or a gun owner, get out of the state. And people went, man, that's really rude. He meant, I meant it. Get out. We run this state now. You get out of here. Shameful. Thugs. And he's just so threatening when he just looks at that camera and he goes, by the way, you're not allowed to read WikiLeaks. I am. And I'll tell you what you need to know. The arrogance. I'll tell you what you need to know, toots, and I'll slap you around if you don't get in line. And he gets to drunk drive and hit and run in front of people at a big town party, running into people's cars in Main Street, falling out drunk. But he's a Como, so he gets to do what he wants to do. Thug. Piece of crap. And I'm sick of these people. You don't bully me, you piece of garbage, you un-American filth. CNN, all you scum. You scum. America is wise to all of you filthy, lying, degenerate pieces of crap. And we'll read what we want, and we'll watch what we want, and we'll do what we want. And thugs like you get in our face and try to muscle us, you know what'll happen, scum. Come down here to Texas and run your big, dirty thug mouth and see what happens, boy. Running his mouth about the president. He's a thug. How the president's effeminate and all this stuff. Let me tell you who is effeminate. It's traitors like you that serve evil and that go around trying to bully people. And CNN going to that woman's house that's our listener, we learned. She was listening when I was talking about her. And go and try to threaten her and say, you're a Russian agent, and try to intimidate her from her political activities. You're the thugs. You're the scum. You're the people trying to say gun owners are responsible for people dying. It's the media hyping up mass shootings that is 100% affecting the mental illness of these drug heads and people. And the sheriff's department, not just the sheriff that knew the shooting was going on and stood out there for 4 minutes because it looks like he was a big fat coward, but also the sheriff's department. And I know Roger Stone's son's on the sheriff's department, and I'm sure there's some nice people, but give me a break. Just because he has dinner with the sheriff, I'm not mad at Roger. I disagree with him. I think that sheriff's a big Democrat. He's a big Hillary bootlicker, and they knew it was coming, and they all stood down. And the FBI stood down, and now they get to trash the Second Amendment some more, and the sheriff's department sat there. And that's what the students told us who've been on the show. They just pulled up in their cars and waited for more backup to get there. I mean, I'm not a hero, but I guarantee you somebody's going around here shooting people or a school, I'm going to find them and I'm going to put bullets in them or I'm going to die trying. Instinctive. Instinctive. How did we become so cowardly? Well, it's called being a Democrat. It's called being a sack of garbage. It's called being a selfish piece of filth. That's what it's called. But their whole house of cards is coming down, isn't it? Their whole stinking house of cards. And so they're now going, okay, we are going to try to openly censor anything nationalist or anything anti-globalist because our world government's in crisis. Oh, I thought none of that existed. Oh, I thought it's all fake news. I thought that the global elite worshiping AI gods was something I made up. Just a year ago on the Joe Rogan Experience, it was national news how crazy the stuff I said was. And then 6 months later, Elon Musk, word for word, said it all. I go to these big meetings, and they're planning to kill everybody. And they're planning to bring in a one-world government, make us merge with computers, put chips in our brains. And they, yeah. Is AI a threat to Christianity? That's what they're pushing. That's their whole plan. That's their religion, is forcing you under it. And you know what? I'm going to raise the alarm because I don't want to be a slave to this. So a bunch of scum can sell out our species to these robber baron globalists with delusions of grandeur. And so thugs can sit there like Como and his thug brother and thug around threatening everybody and bullying everybody so we roll over to him. Scarborough can have, dead girls in his office with their brains beat out. Como can hit and run in front of everybody. Because they're the big guys. They're the big men. They're the big thugs is what they are. You got Mika Brzezinski's dad, who was a war criminal, mass murderer. Oh, he can get his hands bloody, but he was a mass-murdering, anti-American piece of garbage. And now Zbigniew Brzezinski is rotting in filthy hell with all the rest of the scum and all the rest of the degenerate control freaks, and all of that filthy milk nobility can go straight to hell. We'll be right back. I am Alex Jones, and the transmission will not be stopped. The signal will win. I didn't know Paul was about to publish this article. And Rob Dew is on vacation. He's usually the guy that's over the YouTube accounts and lets me know about strikes and things that are going on. So I'm learning about what's going on from Paul Watson during the break as they give me this new article that he published on Infowars.com and Newswars.com. And guess what? It says CNN is directly lobbying YouTube to shut down Infowars. And how do we know this? CNN, the fake news network, and the Nazi-like censors, that's what the Nazis did, so the shoe fits, is going around misrepresenting what we've said and what we've done, number one. And then number two, telling everyone to go flag our videos as community guidelines violations so that they can ban Infowars. Let me tell CNN and let me tell YouTube what I've already told the audience, because I know you're listening, and I know Media Matters is listening. I am going to start suing media companies and organizations. I've met with all the lawyers. It's all lined up. I have to do it to defend the First Amendment. And we've got so many big cases that we're just looking at the right ones. And, I've been added to lawsuits against Google by Google insiders and things about what's going on. And so there's a lot of shoes about to drop. But there isn't a jury in the world, I don't care, liberal, conservative, that isn't going to find in our favor. And it's going to be watershed, because you can't attack and demonize somebody and then misrepresent who they are and then disappear their responses to it so you can then say something was in the video that wasn't there. They're saying that I said that no one was shot in Florida, and that I put out videos saying they were all crisis actors, which I've never said. And they started last week by banning the #1 video on YouTube with millions of views in one day of people just pointing out that this guy is in the drama club and is an actor and is a spokesperson, just like we're saying CNN had a town hall. They just had a bunch of pre-scripted people there reading off scripts. So we said, you've got 4 kids out of 3,000 who are 99% of who's put on television, and then the other young people say, hey, they gave me scripted questions, and then CNN says they're liars. So I haven't said David Hogg's a liar. I haven't said any of them are liars. I said they're anti-gun zealots, their parents are, and they're PR operatives now being used to go out for a Second Amendment. That's a total fact. And I just learned they removed the video and gave us a strike and say that they are going to remove the other ones, and CNN says they want us banned. Just like we have the New York Times and YouTube on hidden camera from Project Veritas saying our main job is to shut down Alex Jones and anybody promoting American flags. That was another quote. Just our enemies are people that like American flags. Wow, that's a foreign globalist for you. Basically, anybody like Alex Jones, Paul Watson, American flags, we shadow ban them. They don't know that no one can see them anymore. It's real funny, these dumbass rednecks. Those are quotes. Because you like Second Amendment and freedom and don't want to live in Venezuela, you're an evil white person. And because we are telling the truth and it's so devastating to them, they misrepresent what we did. They say, well, a video last week that was #1 before YouTube caught it, bad job, ban it quicker. There they are about total censorship, but couching it like it wasn't good enough, it wasn't quick enough. When you understand the type of lawsuits I've got when I've got Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube, parent company, Google, on video saying we censor Alex Jones. And then when you do it, you then go out and say, I said something I didn't say. See, that's the real art of censorship, is you don't just silence the victim. You then go and misrepresent the victim so you can destroy them. See, what you do is you tie their hands, you stick a gag in their mouth. And then you attack and you attack and you attack and you attack. So here's the article. I need everybody to make it go totally viral. This is incredible. And we'll add this live video feed. We'll grab this and put it into the article so people can get my response. Alex Jones responds to CNN's calls for it to be banned on YouTube. And they mean business, folks. People say, oh, I don't like Milo, or I like Milo, or why is Milo on? Because they banned him on Twitter. They're trying to destroy him. They're trying to shut him down. Even if I disagreed with him on most things, which I don't, I would want to lift him up because they're scared of him. So here it is. Infowars is 2 strikes away from being banned from YouTube. And then you salivate CNN over this with Anderson Cooper, the CIA operative. And then they have Hogg on there going, I'm not a crisis actor. Infowars, stop it. And people, that dirty Alex Jones said there wasn't a shooting there. Anderson Cooper said so. He's a good CIA man. And it's all Phil Mudd up there at CNN who wants me banned because he can't stand it. He wants to run around and say he's going to kill the president. And then I'm sitting there saying, hey, buddy, the military's watching your ass. He does, though, he does. He's going to dish it out. Phil Mudd isn't going to take it. So they want to shut you up. Here's CNN. And they misrepresent the video. They imply that I'm saying the shooting didn't happen. And then, oh, but you can't see the video because we went and complained and got it banned. And we're asking everybody to go complain. And this is the no platforming. Hey, we're going to shut down all the gun shops. We're going to shut down Cabela's. We're going to shut down the NRA. We're not going to let gun owners do business. We're not going to let credit card companies work with gun sellers. This is called hardcore bullying authoritarianism. So that thugs like Como, remember? He said, I can read the WikiLeaks. You're not allowed to. You'll go to jail if you do. The condescension. The in your face. And it's incredible. So, again, they misrepresent what I've said, just like they do on Sandy Hook. But you've heard it the last week. You've heard what I really said. You've heard what we laid out. There it is. Remember, it's illegal to possess WikiLeaks Clinton emails. But it's different for the media, says CNN's Chris Como. In fact, let's play a clip of him. And again, they don't want you to even see this because you realize how dumb it is. They don't want you to hear Jonathan Gruber saying, you're stupid, I'm ripping you off, you're a scum, I'm going to feed on you. They don't want you to hear Feinstein going, we're going to ban all your guns. Oops. Our plan is to totally ban all guns. Oops. They're trying to take down clips of Chuck Todd saying, I like the New York Times. Let's just repeal the whole Second Amendment and ban all guns. That didn't go over too well. They have articles out. Trump's a kook. He says we're coming for your guns. Nobody wants to take your guns. Nobody wants to get rid of your Second Amendment. That is crazy. So, you need to support us, folks. You need to buy the products. You need to share the articles, the videos, and understand that when they ban us on YouTube, they're going to go around everywhere else. But everybody else can upload us. Everybody else can put together the videos. It's your patriotic duty for free speech to get a YouTube account, to get a Facebook account, to get all the other platforms, Snapchat, everything, and just hammer this info out. Hammer, 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 because it's a war. If they can shut us up, they're coming for everybody. They're already here. I need everybody's help. I need everybody to make a big deal out of this. Because, again, this is how they do it. This is how they engage in their anti-American attempt to kill the First Amendment. They hate it more than the Second Amendment. Thugs, absolute thugs. We'll be right back. Critical intel straight ahead. CNN, just like Jonathan Gruber, thinks you're all stupid and thinks you're all idiots when they told you Obamacare is going to be free and you can keep your doctor and all the rest of it. When they gave the questions to Hillary Clinton for the debates and then got caught lying about it. When they got caught staging, Muslim events, protesting Muslim bombings, which Muslims don't ever do, so they had to stage it. A lot of people weren't even Muslims. They were actors. CNN got caught doing all that. So Phil Mudd, when he's over there saying he's going to kill the president, and when they've got Clapper on saying that they're going to take the president out, they don't want anybody to be able to respond. They want to make you watch it at the airport. They pay the airports to pump it in. They pay the public schools in first period in many public schools to make you watch canned CNN propaganda. So this is the globalist-run, Soros state-run force feed media. And just as I started the show saying CNN wants to keep you from seeing what we actually say and do, I had no idea that we had been hit with a community guideline strike and that there was a big story out today, because we don't even really follow news about us because there's so many hundreds of articles a day usually, you can't even keep track of it, the full-on attack. And they said that we bullied David Hogg, and they referenced another video that was #1 that somebody else put out saying he's an actor. We simply said they're in the drama class. They're PR people. He is a journalism student, and he is an anti-gun person in an adult role as a public figure trying to take a major civil right. And so we have a right to talk about it. And CNN's been caught coaching people and is in the middle of a huge controversy right now, staging that town hall and pre-scripted questions, and they've been caught. And the questions, people kept some of the questions. So all this is coming out. It's on Infowars.com. It's on Newswars.com. It's on DrudgeReport.com. Florida school shooting survivors. CNN told me I need to stick to the script. And they came out and said that the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School student survivor, Colton Hab, is a liar. CNN has said he's a liar, even though people go, no, here's the questions they gave me. Even though we put images up of the questions that say, here is your question. So they're staging this whole thing, and we're saying this is scripted. They're staging town halls. There's out of 3,000 students, they're picking 4 anti-gunners to then have scripted responses and to put out anti-gun talking points. I mean, who is denying that? Who is denying they're reading off teleprompters? Who is denying they've been given scripted questions? Who is, you can't deny that. And so, what does the bullies over at CNN do? What do? They say Infowars is 2 strikes away from being banned for bullying children, little innocent children no one's ever heard of, not public figures reading off teleprompters. And if you criticize their speech, you're saying no shooting happened, which we never said, and you're bullying. And, oh, you can appeal it, but it's a couple lines. And here it is. Here is a document cam shot, please. Community guidelines status. The community says I'm bad. Just like the old Soviet Union, somebody in the community said that, you know, you were a capitalist, so you got to get sent for 10 years re-education to the Gulag Archipelago. And what was the video? David Hogg can't remember his lines in TV interview. And he can't remember. And they're coaching him saying, it's okay, it's okay. That's what CNN's in the middle of a giant controversy right now. One of the biggest stories in the country is them saying it's not a scripted town hall when they admittedly script the things. Am I bullying CNN now? CNN students told me, stick to the script. Network wrote the questions. It was shocking. Let's play the clip first of David Hogg that they don't want you to see. Just like they're trying to block our videos that are shot over the shoulders of reporters on iPhones, on smartphones, when they're going, oh, there was multiple shooters, we saw them shooting, and they were running around. And no, I was with Nicholas Cruz, and he wasn't shooting anybody. Oh, do not put that out. No, 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 no. Just like we told you in Vegas, the whole thing was going to fall apart, and it did. And put that back up on screen from Drudge for me, because I want people to understand what's happening. But oh, CNN makes it, oh, Alex Jones said that the mass shooting didn't happen. And they mentioned somebody else's video that was #1 that they banned. And I said on Tuesday, I said, watch, they banned that video. Now they're going to try to ban everything. And here's the key. And we're going to Paul Watson. Once they have banned your video, they can say in the video, you did all these terrible things you didn't do. See, that's why it's key. They burn your book, and then they say Alex Jones wrote a novel of how much he loves Satan. And how he, but then when you actually read the book, if they didn't burn it, it says, I love Jesus. But see, they have to destroy my speech, and then they can misrepresent all they want and make you watch CNN and force feed it to your kids and have it in the airports and ram it down your throat in restaurants and everywhere, because you're going to listen to Anderson Cooper. And Como, he's going to tell you when you can read WikiLeaks from him. You aren't allowed to, because they're the bosses and they run your life and they run your world. This is so huge. A next level censorship with CNN saying, everybody, let's shut Infowars down. Let's all go flag it and say that as a community, we don't like it, to ban it. That's the socialist globalist plan. In Europe, you say that a Muslim killed somebody, even when it's the case, you get arrested in Germany. Police chiefs that say 99% of the gang raping is Muslim men, they get fired. You stand up to Muslim rape gangs, you're fired. You don't say it's the Muslims. And you've got scripted anti-gun kids with their parents on TV, young adults, high schoolers, high school seniors, and I can't say, look at this bumbling scripted interview. I guess I'll get banned for saying that CNN staged the town hall too, or gave Hillary the questions. You did it all. You did it all. You're a bunch of lying, dirty scumbags, and you can't stand hearing what lying filth you are. Just like they attacked this young man we're going to play in a moment. He was there. Other people said they didn't want to be scripted, so they left. See how that works? See how that works? See how that works? You see how that works? You're going to let them win? These are real authoritarians. These people mean business. And see, a lot of the other media kind of watches Infowars get censored and goes, well, you know, it'll be less competition for us. Idiots. Idiots. They will shut you down next 100%. If everybody doesn't rally around Infowars, this is an attack on everybody. Okay, so here is David Hogg not being able to get his line straight. Here it is.
Because we had a fire alarm earlier that day, and that was a drill, so we thought this was a drill too, just another one. Because we have a lot of fire alarms, a lot of fire drills at the school. After we heard the first gunshot, we initially thought it was a drill. Actually, that was a bad choice.
It's okay, you're fine.
Actually, that was a bad choice because the janitor, sorry.
It's okay, you're fine, David, you're fine.
Honestly, when I was going out, I was kind of, hold on.
It's okay.
When When I was going out, I was in shock.
Yes, I don't know how to put this in perspective. Okay.
So most of my friends that made it out, one of them went into a bathroom in the same, I believe, in the same hallway as the shooter. Oh, hold on.
It's okay.
One of them went into the same bathroom, I believe, as the hallway shooter. He was in there at the same time, and he was in the bathroom, and he didn't know if he was going to live.
This guy is an anti-gun spokesman who is force-fed to everybody. He's a young man in a man's world. Ooh, you're not supposed to say man. And then now at Purdue and places, they say in the English department, don't say man. I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to be banned for that, too. And I'm not joking. These are authoritarians. Now, when we come back with Paul Watson, we've got Colton Hab, who isn't scripted, who isn't reading off the teleprompter, who isn't trying to get his line straight. I mean, this makes me so angry, ladies and gentlemen, because they're trying to rob all of you of your speech. And you got a guy all over television. You got these kids going up and telling people, burn her to Dana Loesch, and saying, you're a killer. So they can say, you're a killer. They can dump hot coffee on me, the left, and whatever they want. They can say, kill the president, everything. That's okay. And if we just say, hey, they're using these kids to put out their anti-gun message. Oh, we got to ban you right now. CNN says ban Alex Jones. Ban him, ban him, ban him. This is an absolute maximum red alert. It's not because CNN's coming out saying ban Infowars. It's that they're openly calling to have a competing news organization shut down. It's CNN saying, kill the president. It's CNN having guests on saying the guy that shot Scalise wasn't a bad guy. He was standing up against the evil. I mean, the racism, the division, the brainwashing, the Gulf War Arab dictatorships that give them millions of dollars like Qatar on record. I mean, this is a criminal organization. And they're calling for people to go community strike and claim that we're bullying the students. And then they say, oh, another video got taken down that was #1 this week where they said that no one, died or whatever. And Jones's videos are similar. No, they're not, you liars. But once you get them taken down, you can make up whatever crap you want. So I'm going to say this to everybody very clear. This is America, 2018. CNN on their front page and on television is calling for another news organization in the United States to be banned. If you can say ban Infowars from YouTube, that's what they're calling for. Banned. They've been calling for Trump to be banned off Twitter. And Twitter says they're considering it because they don't want you to be able to fight back, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand? This isn't just, oh, try to get somebody to sue me or something like that or misrepresent what we say. This is, don't play a clip of David Hogg, who's a senior and who's in the media department and who's in the acting department. We're not saying he's an actor in that there was no shooting. We're saying he's got scripted anti-gun lines. Out of 3,000 students, they're force-feeding these 4. They just got caught staging the town hall. They got caught giving Donna Brazile the questions for Hillary. This is CNN in the WikiLeaks being run by the Democratic Party. So they're making their move because we're kicking their butt with the truth. And now there are major congressional talks about hearings about fake news. They're the fake news. Unbelievable. We're going to Paul Watson in a minute. We're going to break right now. I just want to set the table here. Here is a clip of one of the young people, and everybody's got to do this. When I say go out as human intelligence and go to city council or go to CNN events or go to these liberal churches, you're going to record them saying the most insane stuff. You'll have white preachers saying, we need to go ahead and just kill all the white people. And they'll say, we're going to go ahead and take the cross out. This is mainline Methodist churches, you name it, are like, Bill and Melinda Gates are the Christ of our time. Give money. We're going to give Bill and Melinda Gates the offering today. This is major churches in Austin, mainline churches, first churches, churches I've had family go to where they get rid of the one preacher and bring in new ones, and it's like North Korean propaganda. They're making their move. And that's why, imagine if we had 50 students go down there and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to read your question. Because once you know how the scam works, you know how to get around it. And then you get up during that live feed, they'd cancel it when they start going to the questions. And everybody doesn't go with the question they're given. Why be directed by these people? It's legal, it's lawful, and look, they're going to either kill me or shut me down. They're making their moves right now. I am honored. This is an extreme honor to be public enemy #1 after Trump. I am so, I am so blessed. This is an incredible honor. And it's an honor to talk to you, and it's an honor to work with everybody, but I can just read the tea leaves. They're coming. And you know what? I'm coming too. Head-on collision, baby. You want to fight, you better believe you got one. And if we fall like the Alamo, out of that will become the greater victory. That's how it works. That's what romance is all about. It's what struggle's all about. This is the stuff history's made of. We'll be right back with Paul Watson and the students who witnessed the censoring and the scripting at CNN, which they're desperate to shut down and not have a discussion of. You are hearing the transmission that they don't want you to hear. Huge, giant developments. We've got CPAC clips. We've got intel on foiled attempts to assassinate the president. We have got just so much. CNN caught staging town halls, caught scripting things. They're trying to ban Infowars right now. I was just talking to Paul Watson during the break, our great London reporter and Infowars editor. He reminded me, Rupert Murdoch came out last week, and the CEO of News Corp, and said, shut down all alternative content and only force feed mainstream news. And they said, start with Infowars. They actually say, start with us. So see, Trump's got a big problem because Rupert Murdoch was for Hillary, but now he's cozied up to Trump. These are the very people stabbing him with one hand while patting him on the head with the other. And I'm putting headlines up if you're a radio listener. Rupert Murdoch pressured Facebook for changes to help news publishers. And then you read into this, and it says, shut down Infowars. You can pull up the headline, CEO of News Corp calls for internet censorship plan. And then notice Soros comes out and says, any nationalist talk, any nationalist talk, anti-EU talk, ban it from the internet. And then he went further and he said, we want Drudge banned. They use the term ban Drudge, ban, you want ban, put Drudge up. Why do they not want Drudge? Oh, it says that all the liberal media is plunging, all their ratings are dropping, the left doesn't want Nancy Pelosi, the left doesn't want Dianne Feinstein, they can't even get endorsements or money now from their own people. Scroll down. Oh, and look, clips of people saying that the town hall was scripted and the proof. Oh, no, we can't do that. Oh, and they're telling Jimmy Kimmel, tone down the politics at the Oscars because all of our ratings have tanked. They're dying. And so I always explained, they're going to move to shut down our speech and go authoritarian. But how is this bad? Most of the New York Times traffic, it turns out, comes from Drudge. He sends them more than Facebook. And how do they respond? We want to shut Matt Drudge down. You give us all our traffic. We hate you. You're a Russian. Remember? Matt Drudge is a Russian because he linked hundreds of times to RT. And he linked thousands of times to you. Jerks. So this is so huge. It's on Infowars.com. It's a total red alert. If they can set the precedent with the community guidelines to say criticizing seniors in high school that are political and who have clearly been scripted in the talking points. We're not saying they're actors faking. We're not saying people didn't die. But CNN is implying it, but not letting you see the video. Oh, CNN took down another viral video that said it was all fake. And now Jones has similar ones that are also being taken down. This is what they're doing. This is how they're shutting it all down. This is what's happening. And you've got Rupert Murdoch and George Soros working together saying specifically shut down access to Infowars and shut down access to the Drudge Report. The next step is coming and killing us and arresting us, or vice versa. You understand that, right? They don't just shut people up because they're going to leave them out there. They know they can't shut us up. They know it's going to cause a Streisand effect. They know we're going to just get bigger. It's underground because people aren't supposed to see it. They're not supposed to hear it. And what are we doing? This is all totally makes sense. Here's the clip. Florida school shooting survivor from Fox News. This is the great evil, you see. They don't want you to hear Tucker Carlson either. I know for a fact all those people have been threatened to stop being so hardcore or they're going to be off the air. But then Fox lost half its ratings trying that crap, so they backed off, see? So there's major pressure to bring in censorship, and people don't want to do it. You think YouTube really just wants to ban everything and really be authoritarian? The average person? No. The average person at YouTube knows full well what I'm really saying. We're not intimidated. Tucker responds to legal threat from Podesta lawyer. Yeah, it's just incredible. So let's go ahead and go to this clip that I'm going to Paul. Here it is. This is Florida school shooting survivor who CNN, by the way, has been calling a liar. Oh, but is that bullying him? You know what, CNN, you have a right. He's in the public venue. He's got the evidence. Everybody else knows what you did. But you're allowed to say he's a liar. You got free speech. Am I going to go to YouTube and their community guidelines and say, oh, CNN said this young man is a liar? I never even called Hogg a liar. I said his whole family's anti-gun. He admittedly is trying to intern at CNN and traveling there. He's in all these different things, and the kids are all going off talking points. It's true. But even if it wasn't true, it's covered under the First Amendment. Here it is.
What had happened was 4 days ago, I had gotten contacted by a lady named Carrie Stevenson from CNN. She had asked me originally to just write a speech. It was going to be at the town hall at the BB&T Center, so I agreed. I felt like it would be the right thing to do, be able to go speak my part, as well as open eyes to a few things that I thought that could make this situation a little better.
Pause. Yeah, that's what they do. They get you to the event. Because I've been involved with CNN many times, and then it all changes. But let's continue, we're going to Paul.
From there, 3 days ago, so the next day after that, we had gotten, I got an email back from her, and she asked for more of questions rather than a speech, which I was totally fine with, so I wrote a little less of a speech and more of questions that I wanted to ask at the town hall. The day after that, it was more of just questions. She asked for just questions that I would like to ask. So I gave her my questions, and then yesterday, at about 5:15, I made contact with her, and she had asked if I just asked her one question. So what they had actually done was wrote out a question for me, because in my interview with CNN, I had talked about arming the teachers if they were willing to arm themselves in the school to carry on campus. And they had, she had taken that of what I had briefed on and actually wrote that question out for me. So I have that question here if you'd like me to ask it for you.
Well, but I just want to make sure I have this straight. So you sent them a long, in effect, essay on what you thought. But they put
Yes,
their
sir.
own words in the question, and they weren't the same as the words you had sent in. They were the producer's words?
Absolutely. They had taken what I had wrote and what I had briefed on and talked about, and they actually wrote the question for me.
But not with your words. I mean, they put their own words into your question, even after they'd asked you to send questions
Absolutely.
in. But that seems dishonest.
It definitely did, and that's kind of why I didn't go last night. Originally, I had thought that it was going to be more of my own question and my own say, and then it turned out to be more of just a script. And she had actually said that over the phone that I needed to stick to the script.
I just read the CNN article again. There's also a video report. You guys download that. And they say that we say they're all crisis actors and then it basically didn't happen. I am so angry because we've now reviewed the video that's on our computer, and it was Owen Schroyer, and he said no such thing. Gosh, that is so evil, man. God, I'm so tired of them misrepresenting and then deleting it so they can lie about it. Let's go ahead and go to Paul Watson. Paul, thank you for joining us and putting this out. This is just amazing, and it doesn't hurt me personally, Paul. It gets to me to know that we're dealing with people this evil. Paul, this is huge.
Well, I mean, you predicted it, Alex, when you were on with Milo. You said they would conflate wild conspiracy theories about the shooting not happening, with us questioning the public statements of this kid who's got his First Amendment right to lobby for, gun control, and we've got our right to combat that. But no, that's harassment, that's bullying apparently. But this other kid who said the question given to him was scripted, CNN can publicly shame him and call him a liar, and that's completely fine. In Russia, Alex, the government censors dissident media outlets. In America, apparently CNN thinks it's their job to do that.
We're going to go to break. I have to sue. And I've already met with the lawyers. I'm not a litigious person. I have to sue them all. I haven't even plugged. I've done an hour and 20 minutes, have not plugged any products, folks. We need funding, as you can see. Infowarstore.com, a lot of great specials. Get in there. And if Infowars is the cure to fake news, CNN is the disease. Michael Zimmerman, who manages our YouTube accounts, just walked in and handed me another little juicy. They just hit us with another strike. One strike away from taking down 12 years of videos on one channel, over 2 billion views. And with glee, CNN, with all its fraud and all its staged debates and all its staged town halls and all its staged questions, is calling for us to be shut down, saying we're saying nobody died. And, of course, not showing me say that. That's what journalists do. If I tell you Hillary says, let's all be nasty bitches, I can play a clip of her saying it. Or if I say Jonathan Gruber said, thank God you're so dumb. Or if I say Obama said, if you think you built a business, you didn't build that, somebody else did it. He said that. So they already don't let our subscribers get the videos. They've already got a shadow banned. I mean, the channel is a let me just give the listeners a little intel. We're going to Paul. It's a feeder channel for everybody else to post it on theirs. They have it shadow banned. We have them on video saying only people that go directly to the page and hand click on it can see the videos. And now they're starting to block those. I said I liked the Super Deluxe video attacking me, and they didn't understand it, blew up in their face. So they messed up the video and took it down when it was viral. They put it back up, messed up on YouTube. And we have videos of them admitting this behind the scenes. Project Veritas shot. I mean, does anybody understand? This is open and shut civil rights violation, criminal racketeering. If you get $500,000 as a gay couple because somebody wouldn't bake your cake, what happens when I've got your executives behind the scenes talking about how they're screwing me over? And everybody else's free speech. And how you want to shut me down. It's not that I'm bad. It's not that I'm a bully. It's that the bosses want him shut down. Paul Watson, they have congressional hearings in the intelligence committees, and they say, #1 story on the internet's Infowars, Paul Watson. Congressman Quigley, he looks at the heads of Twitter, Facebook, and Google, and they go, sir, at lunch we saw it and shut it down. And we're bringing in AI to do it live time in the next month, sir. Well, a couple months later, it's here, baby. It's here, baby. They're having hearings where at lunch they're trying to stop this man right here. You see him? You're watching this on our own. That man right there. And why? Because he's eloquent and he is smart and the girls love him and they're scared of him. So let's go to the guy they're so scared of that congressional hearings about. Paul, we just got another one for our video interviewing the students and playing clips from KHOU and other stations, people saying there were multiple shooters and that they were with Cruz when the shooting was going on. That's bombshell. We said, we don't know what's going on, but this is newsworthy. That bullied the students, Paul. Talking to the students. Talking. Playing clips of 2 students, interviewing a student. Oh, and what did Snopes say? They said he was a fake actor we hired. Of course, it turned out he was real. See, everything they say we're doing, they're doing. Paul, the magnitude of this is incredible, and they're making their move. We are one strike away from being banned. Don't these idiots get? This is Streisand effect, baby. Go ahead, Paul.
Listen, Alex, they took down the video because of CNN's campaign to censor another media network, by the way, for harassment and bullying. This is in the same week that CNN sent a reporter, Drew Griffin, to the home of an old lady to harass and bully her over Russian collusion claims. Everybody's seen the clip. It was widely condemned by everybody in the media. They said it was harassment and bullying. Now, that clip's obviously on YouTube somewhere on CNN's channel. Maybe people should think about flagging that video, because that actually is harassment and bullying. Oh, but we know YouTube has one rule for us and another rule for people in the
Facebook millions of people are on sites calling for organizing for murdering the president.
Exactly. So Jimmy Kimmel can talk about tragedies and make money out of them, and that's fine. Anybody else does that. Even people who try to raise money for charities, they get shut down. Alex, they're talking about fake news and conspiracies about tragedies and the moral panic surrounding that. The mainstream media circulated a fake news story about this tragedy for about 24 hours when they claimed the shooter was a member of a white supremacist group. It was a fake news story. YouTube reacted to that by taking down a video, which was by Tim Pool. He criticized the media for falling for that fake news story. They took down his video. So if you take on the likes of CNN for their fake news, for conspiracies, fake news about tragedies, they target you as well. So again, they're all on the same team. Alex, in this article, they literally salivate over the fact, oh, we flagged these other videos and 2 more strikes and they're out. Now it's 1 strike, as you said.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. CNN's not just telling everybody to go flag. They admit they're trying.
It.
Because we're talking about the young people, the young adults they have on as their PR people that go up and basically intern for them. They're mad that we're going after basically their PR people and just pointing out that they're PR people. We're not saying the shooting didn't happen. This is so criminal. That's what I'm saying. CNN is a criminal organization. They're not just fake news. They are the enemy. They are terrorists. They are the disease.
And Alex, I mean, you don't need to like Infowars to see that this is a massive concern. Obviously, there are center-right media organizations that hate us, okay? Once we're gone, they're next. Everyone needs to be concerned about this. It's not just CNN. Wall Street Journal 2 weeks ago came out with an article about how they were lobbying YouTube to censor, to demote our content on the algorithm. We know YouTube's already doing that by placing CNN and the others on top of our content. So they're already trying to push us down. But no, that's not enough. We need to be gone off the platform, deplatformed, silenced, just like in Russia, where the government does it. CNN does it in America. And the CEO of News Corp came out and admitted the biggest reason for it. He said, in a, quote, dysfunctional media environment, they are going to make more money if they silence independent voices. He literally said, quote, the potential returns for our journalism would be far higher. And brazenly admitted the primary reason is to make more money for them. Obviously, it's because we're challenging and destroying their narrative, which is why CNN is doing it. And they're so brazen about it, Alex. That wasn't even the only article in which they're promoting this new campaign to silence us off the internet. There's another article as well. This is a full board lobbying effort by CNN, and everybody should be absolutely outraged over this.
And they're now bringing out the Sandy Hook folks saying that, again, we're saying this shooting didn't happen and misrepresenting. You've always said Sandy Hook happened. We've only had debates from both sides about it. They misrepresent that. They're doing it again. They say in the article that, oh, another video saying the shooting didn't happen was taken down. And they try to imply it's us.
No, exactly. They're conflating us challenging this student being coached on his opinions, being an activist, which he is, and fair enough. I don't care. We can address his arguments without being completely censored. This is absolutely incredible. Every media organization in America should be up in arms about this. We need to fight back.
This is Soviet Union level stuff. We have gotten 2 strikes from YouTube, and CNN admits that they did the strikes and that they are trying to file other ones to have a shutdown, openly calling for competing news organizations to be shuttered. Imagine if we started a campaign to have CNN's cable license revoked, or to have CNN's doors closed, or to have CNN banned. But see, you don't have to do that because they have to pay people at airports and hotels to watch their crap. They're reviled. They're known as fake news worldwide, fake town halls, fake events, fake interviews, bullying old women. Como saying, you know, you're not allowed to read WikiLeaks, only we are. You'll go to jail if you don't. They are total dystopic authoritarian bullies. And now, in one day, 2 strikes, and they're salivating, as Paul Watson pointed out, saying that one more, we're going to be shut down. They are the ones filing it. So, Paul, this is beyond the Soviet Union. I don't even know how to have a headline strong enough when we, I guess, post this as one of our last videos on YouTube before the lawsuits. How do you even say CNN joins News Corps in call to ban competing news agencies? I mean, you've got Rupert Murdoch, you've got his CEO, as you said, in the Wall Street Journal, and that was the headline. Hold on to your tinfoil hat. YouTube is coming for you. Pull that up last week. And it was the Wall Street Journal in talks with Google saying, shut Alex Jones down as the test case. This was in the Wall Street Journal, and I came in here and just mentioned it. Like it's, oh, no big deal. There's about 300 newspapers a day saying, shut me down. And then they misrepresent what I say because I'm the bad guy. See, first you demonize the person, then people go, oh, well, I guess you can ban him, and then it's everybody. Yeah, put the headline back up. There's it. And then that story links to the Wall Street Journal. It says, hold on to your tinfoil hat. Alex Jones, YouTube is coming for you. And then scroll down. Click on right there. And they say, we're going to battle state-sponsored. So Alex Jones is a Russian. No proof, total lie. And so they said they meet with all these executives. Scroll down, it's got the Wall Street Journal link. Yeah, right there, the Wall Street Journal. And I went and read the Wall Street Journal itself, and it's incredible. YouTube takes aim at conspiracies and propaganda. So they just label you, and then you disappear, and then what is it? Oh, it's students saying there were multiple shooters, local news clips, and then we have one of the students on. And then that's bullying. You're banned. Oh, you say that some of these kids are PR people for the anti-gun lobby when they admit they are. Oh, that's bullying. You're banned. You say, why are there 4 kids all over TV out of 3,000? Oh, that makes too much sense. You're banned. And then we don't censor. Oh, no, we're just doing this because Alex Jones says no shooting happened, which I didn't say. And then in their trade publications, they don't even say that. CNN says that to their viewers. This bad man was bad to the children, and he said that that nothing happened. We're not going to show you him say it, though. It's too evil for you to see because he didn't really say it. And this other kid's a liar that says that we gave him scripted questions. Don't listen to him, even though there's video of us doing it at many other town halls. And then in the trade publications, as Paul said, Rupert Murdoch goes, we're going to make billions more. I suggest we have a consortium and only maybe 100 publications are allowed. And I'm reading this. I'm advising the president that this will be the new system we have. Well, the president's under attack by the very same censorship triangulation. I mean, think you are witnessing 21st century book burning in live time. And the best part is then they misrepresent what you say. They don't just shut you up. They then gag you and then put you on trial in front of the public. And then the public runs up and throws coffee on you or runs up and shoots you. Like, and then it's loving. Like, I'll walk down the street in Austin, all the folks that have collapsed in their areas of the country, they come here, and the leftists go, ooh, boo, get out of here, go, go. It's all bullying. It's all, it's a bunch of thugs, man. And they can't believe it when I go, hey, listen, I bet you're a big loser. I bet you're not successful in anything. That's why you're so hateful. You know, did you ever think you came here to get away from people like you? Why? Oh, you're upset now that I'm in your face. Yeah, you can't shut my mouth up, you piece of crap. You want to tell me to go away? You want to tell me to shut up? But imagine they got our kids in the school. See, that's where they're really bullying the daylights out of them. Telling them they're another gender, harassing the hell out of them, serious child abuse, trying to screw your kids up as much as you can, and you just let them, oh, don't bully me. Give me social support. Make me feel like I'm inclusive. I'll do whatever you say. Okay, the new English department says don't say the word man. Okay, I won't say that either. And we're taking down the Martin Luther King statue. He was anti-gay, which he wasn't even. Oh, okay, take him down. Because if they can say, take down Martin Luther King, take down Alex Jones, take down, they can do anything, Paul. I appreciate you coming on while I've been ranting. I am just, this is so crazy, the levels of lies, other great points you've been making. How do we counter-strike this? Because they got money to burn. I mean, I can get cases of civil rights action and show the racketeering 1,000 times beyond the gay cake situation, the gay wedding cake. I mean, we are being racketeered against. This is organized crime. And we have to respond because this is precedent setting. And as you said, the Wall Street Journal is in there with the CEO of News Corp saying it's all about money. We're going to shut everybody down. And all these so-called liberals don't get, hey, if they can ban Alex Jones, they're going to ban everything, you dumb schmucks. Paul, go ahead.
Oh, Alex, the argument you always hear, oh, YouTube's a private company, it can do what it wants. No, YouTube's working with government to crush the First Amendment. That's the issue, okay? We need some kind of Telecommunications Act, Alex, to regulate these companies because they are monopolies. If you're not on those platforms, you're not on anything at this point. Google is the internet, okay? We need some kind of law or Telecommunications Act. But that Wall Street Journal guy, Jack Nickass, he did the same thing that CNN did, Alex. He got a bunch of Infowars videos, took them directly to YouTube and said, oh, doesn't this one violate your policy? What about this one? They've got people whose sole job, or partly their job, within these news organizations is to try and get Infowars censored. They've got dedicated teams at this point. They can flash up another article, Alex, which is Senator warns YouTube algorithm may be open to manipulation by bad actors. This was Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, whining about how people had negative opinions about Hillary Clinton on YouTube, and that's why she lost the election. God forbid people were questioning her health, Alex. I wonder which video he's referring to on that score, maybe the one that we did that got 6-7 million views. So he's calling on YouTube to bury us in the algorithm. That's not enough just to bury us because people will find us anyway if people really want to find us. No, we have to be deplatformed, gone entirely off of the whole damn show.
And then if we try, Paul, to go to a march for the lady that got killed by the illegal alien, there are armed communists not letting our reporters on the Capitol grounds in front of the police.
Incredible. And YouTube, they also ban videos put out by national government. The Polish government put out a video talking about the migrant crisis. They censored that. They censored my video for talking about Islam. No nudity, no swearing, not even targeting any individual, just talking about an idea.
Remember the Congress lady from Tennessee put out a very thing about, I love my family and I love America and I'm running for re-election. They banned that, remember? Just a wholesome woman going, I love my family. And it's like they said at the State of the Union. MSNBC said, oh, did you hear him talk about family and churches? And they actually said, you don't get that anymore. That's gone. Talk about hunchback demons. What dimension of hell did these people crawl out of? All right, I didn't do this on purpose. Milo decided to hang out a few more days here in Austin, and I invited him back in studio to talk about censorship and have a serious discussion, Milo Yiannopoulos, because they started out with him in the middle of the election about a year and a half ago to ban him on Twitter. And then he was the precedent-setting case, and then now he's been banned everywhere else, and they just run around in the media celebrating how wonderful it is to be censors. Well, if you just joined us, these articles were so chilling last week that I couldn't even believe them. I saw Paul Watson's article about it. CEO of News Corp admits the plan to shut down all other competing news agencies and that's setting up a consortium of the top 100 companies or so they'll all cover each other and then just kill the internet as it's known, and that they were meeting with News Corp. I was meeting with Time Warner and with Google and with it's all, and I saw the article and I linked to the Wall Street Journal and it said it all there. And they said, and we'll sell this as if we're cleaning up the internet and getting rid of the Russian agent, Alex Jones. More defamation, more insane cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Milo is here now. So, boom, one strike comes in, another. And then, yeah, in the article, CNN says they're doing the strikes because we're bullying children. And then all we did was say, hey, we interviewed, we showed local newscasting, there were multiple shooters, and we interviewed one of the other students who said the same thing, and we just had nice, polite interviews. But they say that, oh, no, those are interviews us saying that the shooting didn't happen. So, Milo, this is next level stuff we're dealing with. Paul Watson, you guys just free for all here. What do we do about this? We need a new Telecommunications Act, a true open free internet act, keep the internet free act. It's the left coming in, doing all of this, and they're so authoritarian, and now they're putting notices up under our videos. They started it with Russian videos saying this is state-sponsored, as if CNN is globalist-sponsored. I mean, what do we do, Milo? You have been the test subject of this. Now they're announcing the big, giant rollout against us, congressional hearings, you name it, and it's surreal that what they accuse you of isn't even true. But they won't show the video. Notice, because it's so evil.
Yes.
Oh my God, Jones said nothing happened at the thing, and I didn't say that. In fact, we even predicted, I mean, this is next level.
You and I spoke about the subject of Florida on air together 2 days ago, and the way that we phrased things was remarkably cautious. We were disciplined and careful and light touch, and the majority of the big claims in that interview came from a student at the school. So here's what's happening. The big media and the tech companies respond with a warning shot, which is a strike on a YouTube account. It's the first sign that they have already decided that they don't want you around questioning things. And here's the really big thing that will happen to you after the ban comes, which you don't think about beforehand. It removes your right of reply. It removes your ability to respond to smears. The first thing that happens that's obvious is it removes your reach. Everybody knows that. You lose your YouTube account, the audience there is gone. But perhaps the more important thing long term is that people can then lie about you on YouTube and you cannot respond, because your audiences these days are fragmented not by media company. You don't have New York Times readers and Washington Post readers. You have platform faithful audiences. So there are people who get almost everything from YouTube. There are people who get almost everything from newspaper websites. There are people who get almost everything from Twitter. And if somebody makes an allegation against you on YouTube and you can't respond to it on YouTube, the YouTube audience, which may be a colossal slice of your platform, of your people, will never get to hear your response. They'll never get to hear your side of the story. It's bad now.
And that's what they do. You could teach a college course on this deception off the CNN articles, because, Paul, that's exactly what they're doing. They say that we're saying nothing happened, and then they talk about somebody else's video that got removed, and they say, so Jones's videos, we've complained, and we're almost there. We've almost got him shut down. So, I mean, it's criminal, Paul. They are racketeering against the First Amendment.
Well, the New York Times floated a trial balloon on this back in November. The headline is YouTube's rapid response partisans game the news of tragedy, which is similar to the Cuomo thing on CNN where he says, only we can read the WikiLeaks. And in this article, they conflate me with this actual racist who responded to the Sutherland Springs shooting by saying it's either a Muslim or a black guy before anyone knew anything about it. Then they mention me, and they get into this whole question about, oh, how do you manage to get your tweets to the top of the search engine, like you mentioned with the whole congressional hearing? How do you manage to reach so many people on YouTube? I told them, there's no strategy. It's having an argument. It's resonating with people. It's not being boring, and they can't compete with that, Alex. There was an MTV News video. MTV News used to be at least a big social justice warrior channel. They did an interview with Tim Kaine a couple of weeks ago. It has 200 views. I mean, they can't resonate with anyone. So
Paul,
they have to shut
Paul,
down
I noticed Facebook's smarter than Google. Facebook, you had videos back during the election with 37 million, 25. I mean, you had like 30 videos or 40 videos. I was sitting there looking going, that's 37 million, that's 29 million. And they were growing. They'd be like 300 million now, because once they get that, they never stop. And we're talking in weeks they were getting...
Same thing happened to me.
They just... they were all gone.
But what Facebook does is, instead of banning you, Facebook turns down the volume on you. They have an algorithm that can de-emphasize your posts so that you don't appear in the news feed. So somebody could be subscribed to you. Somebody could comment on your page every day. They could love you. And Facebook knows they love you because they know how active they are on your page. But they still never see any of your stuff in the news feed. Because Facebook hasn't outright banned you. It's just turned the volume down.
They're smarter. And see, YouTube executives brag, oh, we shadow banned Jones. We got to go to his actual page to find behind it. And then these idiots never don't even know we've done it. No, we know you've done it.
Because we see the numbers.
Well, but they're also in the news like we're not humans going, our strategy will increase profits and shut down all competition. There'll be no more internet freedom by 2020. That's our corporate plan. We just met with the top 15 CEOs. I mean, this was in the Wall Street Journal last week, Paul, and then the left goes, they're going to ban Alex. Yay! He's still got a tinfoil hat on, though. No one's coming for you, but we're going to ban you, you son of a bitch. I mean, these are frothing idiots, Paul. And, of course...
No, it's like, yeah,
these mics turn up 2 hours.
They're going to ban you. Oh, by the way, we're banning you. Yeah, I mean, the Wall Street Journal piece, this Jack Nickas guy, in his article, he openly said he'd compiled a list of, quote, fringe and divisive content and then presented it to YouTube. I mean, imagine that being your job, to collect things which are offensive.
By the way, that's authoritarianism. The New York Times has a liaison with YouTube that tries to... Yeah. Our main job is blocking Alex Jones. But so, wait, think about this, though. It's just like the Soviet Union. That's their job. They make lists of who disappeared. Because you know that's what's coming next. They're going to kill us. I mean, you know, they know we're not going to shut up. They want to just cut us down to size before they really come after us.
I think they can strangle us digitally. They can strangle us commercially. They can strangle us in a million different ways. They don't even have to go through the ugly business of doing it in real life. I think they're perfectly able to do it with turning down the volume.
They've never been able to shut us down, and because the audience gets it and gets around it. I understand they've really deplatformed you, and they all celebrate it and everything, and you act like you're dead, which isn't true. That's why you're here. But I'm telling you, audience, I've been so upset I haven't plugged in 2 hours. I need support. I need support big time. I need you to go to InfoWarsStore.com. Great supplements, great books, videos, T-shirts, things you need. Super high quality toothpaste. I've been so busy I haven't come up with the new specials. So all those specials, it's going to end up selling out everything. I didn't want to sell out of everything. I was going to go back to regular price till more came in. But I'm just going to keep this up till it sells out, which looks like it'll be a few days. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste with colloidal silver and iodine. We've got the Brain Force. We've got 50% off Icarin, the liver and kidney cleanse. We've got the Cell Force, which is an incredible deal. It's going to be called DNA Force Plus as soon as we relaunch it, because it's way better than the old DNA Force. So InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. But whatever you do, thank the local stations that are picking up the show. Understand it isn't about Infowars. The reason I've dropped everything and gone to this when I had a huge show lined up is because this is a big deal, folks. News Corp and CNN have announced together that they're moving to completely end everybody on the internet and only make it a corporate platform. Do you understand that? They are making their move. They first turned Facebook, Google, YouTube, all this into these huge utilities. And then they're rolling them out. Paul, this is an emergency situation, and they're going to move against the president. They're so pissed his approval ratings are up. They're so pissed the country's coming back. This is the civil war, Paul. What do we do?
Well, we need to lobby for some kind of new telecommunications act. As I've said, I mean, people within the Trump administration have seemed sympathetic to that at different points, so that's what we want. The thing about YouTube, Alex, is it takes hard work to build up a YouTube audience, a subscriber base. And you have to have a personality to be successful on YouTube. People who work in the mainstream media, Alex, don't have personalities, okay? It takes talent. It takes having a message that resonates with people. They're boring. They're lazy. No one wants to watch them, which is why they're so resentful and jealous, which is why they're deliberately targeting YouTube and trying to shut us down. It's not just an overall agenda. It's also personal. They hate us because they're boring and no one wants to listen to them.
That's right. They're self-righteous thug scum who just absolutely have been caught in every form of corruption and lying and manipulation imaginable. It's like Tucker Carlson said last week. How much would you have to be paid to watch CNN? Because it turns out they paid to make everyone watch it in the hotels and the airports. Paul, great job. Thank you so much. More with Milo and Steve Pachenik coming up. Stay with us. Hey, Paul, sorry to take up too much of your time. Hey, I need you to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Dr. Steve Pachenik joining us coming up in the next segment. Milo Yiannopoulos riding shotgun with us. I am extremely angry right now. I am not putting on an act on air, okay? I started sweating when I saw this news today, not because of my own personal company or operation. You read about the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany and you read books and history books, it's upsetting. You feel for those people in those times. History's the ultimate soap opera, but it's real. We're living history. News Corp last week said they're meeting with top executives and had met with the top executives to have the internet freedom end. And they said end it. They said shut down all the other sites where no one can get to it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, any of these platforms, taking the U out of YouTube. And then CNN come and they said, we're going to do it by making examples of Infowars. And then I saw the left's all planning this. There was all these articles. Yay, YouTube's coming for you, Alex Jones. You're going to be banned. And then they make it up that I said nobody got shot at the thing. And then CNN starts flagging and admittedly flagging to shut us down. That's racketeering. That is 1,000 times not baking a cake for the gay couple, Milo.
I think you have to see this within the context of a wider war between legacy media and the institutional bodies in America more generally, and upstarts like you, me, Breitbart. We had extraordinary, unprecedented power to reach and affect and influence people in the last election. The media recognized, perhaps 2 years too late, but they finally have got the message this year that their stranglehold over popular opinion, their ability to shape and direct popular opinion,
it's already over,
is gone. But
they can try to hurt us, but don't they get it? They are hated.
Absolutely. But that doesn't mean they're not still powerful. And they're powerful in ways that you don't always immediately think of. It's not just what they broadcast every day. It's not just the fact that they still have large audiences. Even if those audiences are skeptical about what they say, they still have power because they still have money and connections. And with those money and connections, they can go down kicking, screaming, and desperately begging for their lives and damaging, like a dog that's about to die, that's most dangerous just before death. They can go down kicking, screaming, scratching, biting, and yelping, and damage everybody who they think damage them on the way down. On the way to dusty death, they will do as much, they will inflict as much misery and pain and decapitate as many of the people they consider responsible for this as they possibly can.
I cannot believe that they're in the Wall Street Journal saying we met with all the tech execs. We're going to end the internet as you know it. And they're saying we're going to ban everybody. And we're going to start with Alex Jones. What's weird is they used to lie about all this stuff, and they still lie about it. When it comes to censorship, they're like, we had our World Government Summit, and now instead of like denying it was always there, like, we're going to have world government, we're going to end the family, and just.
It's the complacency born of arrogance. It's complacency, arrogance, and elitism. It's a supreme overconfidence that I think you often see in ruling regimes teetering on the brink of collapse who don't necessarily know it.
That is it, though, and we're not just saying this. It's from the NFL to the Oscars to the Olympics. It's all in free fall.
Yeah.
It's cardiac arrest.
They haven't quite worked out that they're dead yet. Some of them have, and they get furious and they're biting, kicking, scratching, and punching. CNN knows. Like, CNN knows it's in trouble. But some of these other big companies don't realize they're in trouble. The establishment in general doesn't think it's in trouble. Individual companies will see their own viewers turn against them. They'll see the financials. They'll see the ratings fall. They'll see all the signs of trouble. But the establishment in general, as a uber blob of the media company.
Yeah, the media is just a throwaway toy for them. It's like, I don't care if the news division's hated. Intensify race war operations. That's in the WikiLeaks. There's the top professors who are advising Hillary. It's actually a British professor. That's why he's like, we need to go to culture war and intensify operations. We're losing control of them. They must be kept in the dark and desperate. These are quotes. In the dark and desperate. Ban that Milo fella.
It's really a very good British accent, actually. You're good at that.
I want him off the air immediately. Your lordship.
That's how.
We are back live. We are broadcasting worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. And if the globalists wanted to get under my skin, they've done it. Milo's here, riding shotgun. Steve Pachenik will give us his analysis on a bunch of big topics that are critical, that are so huge. They can't stand the type of information you're about to hear. They don't want you to know the inside baseball, the angles, what's going on in the White House, all of it, okay? They don't like the fact that the hostage rescue team called up and told me what went on with the gun deal and the Muslims using it as a cutout to get the weapons to try to embarrass Trump. And it was all part of the Saudi civil war. I mean, directly from the FBI. Okay, that's what happened. They don't like that. They cannot stand that. It makes them, they can't stand the fact that I can get information from the top generals just like that. Boom. Here's this information for you, Alex. And it's always accurate. Never BS. Because real information, truth is viral. That's what's powerful. And they're crapping their britches right now. But it's not about us. The brazen Wall Street Journal. And I covered this last week, but I'm kind of punch drunk to it. Like, we're taking over the entire internet with Google, and we're going to shut down everybody, starting with Alex Jones. And Paul Watson's like, you ought to make a bigger deal out of this. And then they're like, Jones, YouTube's coming for you. And then now CNN says, we're actively trying to get Alex Jones banned for bullying children. And then the video is students that are young adults saying they saw multiple shooters. And some of it's off the news. It's clips. And then we're saying, we don't know what happened. I think a shooting did happen. But if somebody doesn't think something happened when we got lied about babies in incubators to get us in the Iraq war, it's your right to sit there and to say that and do that. So I know I'm ranting, but I've tried to explain this feeling. It's like coming home to your apartment, because I haven't had any robberies since I lived in a house or apartment, and all your stuff's been torn through, and on top of it, whoever was in your house over the weekend, like people break in, you know, stay in there, I guess because they know you're out of town or something, and then somebody pisses on your rug for no reason, right out of Big Lebowski, you're like, wow, you know, and then you pissed on my floor. You didn't just steal my computer and TV and, you know, eat stuff out of the refrigerator. You pissed on the floor. And, you know, that's what CNN's like. Fake news, fake town halls, fake scripted interviews. They've all been caught going and harassing old ladies at their houses, saying they're Russian agents. All this crap to try to bully the American. Cuomo going, you're not allowed to look at WikiLeaks. You'll be arrested if you do. I am allowed to. I mean, the condescension of a narcissistic mental patient like that. I mean, a drooling, knuckle-dragging, 75 IQ thug. A thug, like his stupid brother. But no, I'm serious, Milo. So I feel raped, and I don't feel like I'm a victim. I'm pissed. I want to unscrew somebody's head politically. I mean, this is a real group of flaming authoritarians that brag and celebrate that they banned you off Twitter and have financially tried to ruin you, and they celebrate everywhere, pissing on you constantly. And people say, why do you have that Milo guy? And it's fashionable to tear him down. Because I'll be Milo next week, like I said Wednesday, and now I am. And all these other idiot libertarian and conservative hosts that don't get this. Morons. Why did I give Rush Limbaugh $300-something when they were about to kick his show off? Because I could get advertising at half price and support the First Amendment. Win-win. Have my cake, eat it too. And I made a bunch of money for our operation. That's right. I went and propped up Rush Limbaugh, and a bunch of other people did. Because if they could shut him down, they're going to shut us down, people. You hang together, you hang separate. Remember Benjamin Franklin? He's on the $100 bill. He launched the whole country. You know who he is? Damn, these people don't have any instincts, Milo. None. I'm not mad for me. We've already been demonetized. They already censor us on YouTube. It's that they're nakedly, openly saying, we're censors, and we're going to shut everybody down. And then the public, the dumb liberals go, oh, good, shut him down. You're going to be shut down, you drooling morons. I'm sorry. Milo, you go ahead, and then I'll go to Pachenik. It's just, this is like watching someone rape your grandmother. I mean, they are raping the country. And the great part is they're all collapsing. Everyone hates them, but they won't get out of our lives. And then now CNN is in 2 articles saying we're actively campaigning to have Infowar shut down. I mean, total racketeering. $500,000 because somebody wouldn't bake the gay wedding cake. What do I get? What do you get with the organized criminals up there? I'm sorry, go ahead, then I'm going to pretend I'm out of control. The raping, Milo, and you have been raped and raped and raped by these damn people.
This is what frustrates me about libertarians and conservatives, and even people who otherwise agree with free speech and are passionate about free speech. They think that standing up for somebody else when they're being censored is the same as agreeing with everything they say. We're not like the liberals. We're not just going to club together for whatever. We're individualists. We're on the right. Nobody's asking you to agree with everything Alex says or everything I say. What we're asking is that you come out loudly in defense of free speech and against censorship. Because if you stand by and do nothing when my Twitter account is taken away, and you stand by and do nothing when Alex's YouTube account is taken away, what on God's earth makes you think that when they've taken the targets at one end, they're not going to go and, you know, attack the other end next? What on earth makes you think that you're not next? And I've seen it time and again. I've seen it with Breitbart, with Sleeping Giants, that campaign that's had 4,000 advertisers remove their ads from Breitbart.com without a peep, without so much as a word from the rest of conservative media. Because conservative media, they're all worried, oh, well, what about us next? They've gone for Breitbart. We'll just stay quiet. There's, you know, you got the Federalist, you got the Daily Caller. What are they doing to protect themselves, to ensure?
I tell you what they're going to do. If they're successful, they're really going to have their downfall. And Trump has to know this. Everybody's got to get the info to him, because the very same people that are censoring him and trying to block him and trying to deplatform him on Twitter, they have serious discussions about that. They are openly sneaking up to him, Rupert Murdoch, in this perfect storm. Rupert Murdoch and his CEO, did you read it where they said they're going to shut everybody down? They're working with Google.
They've gone for the tough fighters. They've gone for the biggest targets first, because they know everybody else will crumble immediately afterwards. So they've gone for you, me, and Breitbart, because we were the 3 biggest targets. If they can beat the 3 of us, the rest will crumble without a fight, because the rest of them have no stomach and no appetite for the fight.
I agree, and I'm not going to say this to be patronizing. I've gotten so upset with this, and I can't believe all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, because obviously you talk about the stuff, then it actually amplifies what they're doing and the operations they're running. But they are offering people large sums of money to say lies, and the problem is that people aren't even taking the money. And then the money goes up, 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 and I mean the crap that I've learned they're wanting them to say is unbelievable. And that's what they want to shut me down, and then they're going to bring out all the big BS.
We discussed this at dinner the other night. We talked about one particular story, but there are lots of them about both of us. And, you know, it's a cost of doing business and being high profile and rising quickly. You're going to have disgruntled employees. But when you have a media that's complicit in spreading lies by offering money and inducements to encouragement and inducement and incentive.
It's criminal.
To tell wacky stories that are lies, that are entirely defamatory. This is a press complicit in slandering their commercial opposition. And there are laws against that already. But
tortious interference
should be more.
It's flat out racketeering.
Yes, it is. Because what the journalistic outlets are attempting to do is circumvent the law by inducing people to lie about their commercial enemies with checkbook journalism, right? So they'll say, give us two.
And they're also trying to say credit card companies delist the NRA. And people go, well, I'm not the NRA. I'm just a small gun shop. They're getting the lead elephant again.
Yeah.
God almighty, don't you people get it?
Yeah.
They go in the bar, they pick the biggest 6-shooter guy. If they can take him out, everybody else runs.
Exactly. And that's why
it's an attack on you, folks. And that's why, you know why they haven't shut us down? Our listeners, and I'm not just kissing their ass, it's true. When they call up and thank me, you're what changed America and have begun to take the country back. You standing with us and not buying all their attacks, Megyn Kelly, all the crap, you standing with us is the only reason we're here. And while we're trying to support other people that are under attack, because we understand we're in a war, and there are rules how to win wars. The enemy is a bunch of dirty, corrupt oppressors and occupiers. That's why they claim we're all Russians, because they're the globalists. They're the outside power coming in here to try to run America and trying to break our will. And we're the Americans. We're coming back 1776, part 2. It's a real war. We're never giving in. We're going to win. We're unstoppable, because this audience, no matter what happens, they kill me. You are the power. We just got hit with another strike, but they hit David's his own account. Total gentleman, David Knight. Yeah, live from the Infowars News Center in Austin, Texas. I'm Alex Jones. And that's why we have our own video feeds. That's why we have our own audio feeds. But behind the scenes, they're trying to go to all of our big server companies, including overseas, and trying to shut those down. I'm not complaining, okay? And it's smart not to get into all their tactics for a lot of reasons. I'm just telling you, this is a war, people, and these are authoritarians. And David Knight just got hit. And he's a total gentleman.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want the total gentleman smart show, that's David.
It's like PragerU. I mean, Dennis Prager is...
oh, they're trying to shut him down.
Icon of the conservative.
He's so effective.
He's the most mild-mannered, gentle, like, nicely, you know, whatever guy. He's not like us. He doesn't kind of like, you know, scream and yell and have whatever. We're both out there on the edges of culture fighting like in the front lines. Dennis Prager is establishment of the establishment, right?
But dead on.
Dead on, but he has this PragerU thing, the Prager University on YouTube with these very nicely produced, very well polished.
Yeah, let's show some of it.
Absolutely gentle, well-judged, completely factual little videos that blow people's minds. Stuff about like...
He'll show like if you don't have 2.2 people born for the parents, society collapses every time. Or he'll I mean, it's powerful.
It's this stuff about the wage gap, big important subjects, and YouTube has gone after him because he's effective and because he reaches a lot of people with these videos relentlessly. And they did that thing on YouTube, you know, where they take away your sharing options and take away comments. They take away all the virality of the video. So technically, you can still post the video. Technically, you can still have the video online, but it is hobbled. It is kneecapped. It cannot go anywhere.
Which is the authoritarian tactic they know to press.
Embed it.
Well, it's like the Nazis, the Soviet. You always start slow and get people to adapt to the oppression, so that when when you finally march down in a ditch to blow your head off, you go along with it.
Four out of the 5 steps, the populace is like, okay, by that time, you know. All
right, I want to go to just genius points. We're going to get into why Dr. Pachinik was originally joining us, worried about them using sex operatives to try to compromise the president. We'll also get into just the epic media wars going on right now. Again, I don't want to be gonzo journalism here. This is happening, okay? The announcement has been made by News Corp that they met with all the tech heads. This was last week this was announced, and that they are going to go ahead and in the free internet as we know it, not letting anyone have their own website that's shared on any of the big platforms. And they're already targeting all the leftists that aren't political, that have popular channels. They're taking them away, or they're making them go under YouTube control. This is a mafia takeover. And it's so historical. It's so big. I mean, this is history book stuff in how naked and brazen it is, and how they even go, we're going to use Alex Jones as a test case, and we're going to ban him. And then the left's celebrating everywhere. Alex will soon be banned everywhere. And then they CNN, he said the children didn't die, which we didn't say. He said he bullied children. He said CNN has fake town halls, which they do. Yeah. And now let's go to Steve Pachinik, best-selling author, researcher, ran a lot of different government operations in the State Department with the CIA and others. He's been involved in regime change of authoritarian governments. What do you make of this, Doc? And what do you make of the point we've gotten to? Does this signify they're getting their butt kicked and they're just acting confident when they're in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times going, we're just going to ban everybody. And the free internet is not going to be free anymore. Used to, they would try something like that and not be real honest about it. Now it's some very bizarre psychology, but you are a psychiatrist and, you know, a lot of other things, Dr. Pachinik. So can you tell us what in the hell is going on here? I mean, looks like a classical authoritarianism and death rows to me, but my God, if the public doesn't get upset because we're just kind of used to the censorship that's been going on, but those were 5-foot waves. These are 200-foot tsunamis coming in right now. I mean, this is just epic level. What do we do?
First of all, let me put some things in perspective, and I'm glad that Milo is there and talk about this. There is a concept within the British Army called forlorn hope. Do you know what I'm speaking about, Milo? Mm-hmm. Forlorn hope means that in Britain, they used to use the Scottish officers or the Scottish men to go and man the embankments and be the first ones to attack the enemy. In other words, they were sacrificial lambs in many ways, while the British eventually came in. In some ways, Alex Jones, the persona in the show, has always been forlorn hope.
Yeah, no, we're the people that hit the barbed wire.
Right. That's what I'm saying, right. And what I'm trying to explain, and I want you to calm down a little bit for selfish reasons, only because this is a long war. This didn't just start yesterday. This didn't just start a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Hillary was planning it. They admitted this whole plan was about 4 years ago was hatched. Mm-hmm.
Remember, since 9/11, I've been demonetized, delegitimized. I mean, I've been through this so many times that right now Google demonetizes me, shuts me off the air. Now, the question is, what do you want to do about it? If you act as the victim, which is what's happening now with all due respect, then they keep on coming after you. But when you realize that Fox or Murdoch is 88 years old and he has a problem, he can't run his institution, his sons were indicted in England, and guess who took over Fox? It was Disney. Bob Iger, I happen to know from Disney, took over Fox for a $52 billion acquisition. So what does that mean? That means Fox and its subsidiaries, including National Geographic, are in terrible shape. National Geographic can no longer make videos about animals. They're making videos about fighters in Afghanistan, other things. What I'm getting at is you change the position from being forlorn hope to proactive, and that what you require is a kind of a strike among all of us, 11 million of us, who will not go to Disney, who will not buy the Disney products, who will not buy anything to do with Disney. And what happens is at the same time, you call a strike on the cables. particularly the cable systems that are putting in CNN. You see, CNN isn't funded by audience. It's funded by a very tricky system. That means that any cable system that's put in, including your own or somebody else's or Fox and CNN.
Yeah, the carriage.
They all compile together and they get a percentage of that. If in fact your audience or I...
That's right. It's like a TV tax. It's a cable tax that you have to pay for CNN. People don't understand that. It's like BBC.
Yeah.
You are paying for this flath.
Not the only respect in which it's like the BBC, but it's interesting how these organizations that cannot survive on advertisers or the goodwill of their viewers have to have these stitch-ups in the background to stay active.
Milo's exactly right. So what happens is you refuse to pay the tax, you cut the wires on the cables, and many of your listeners understand what I'm calling about. You short the cable system so that there is no particular audience and no cash flow. Once you hit the cash flows of Disney or the cable tax and those, now you become very effective. And then you begin to understand two things. Number one, Google has a very strong relationship with the United States government. This will be something I will reveal to you, but it's not a great secret, it's just quiet. Google and the National Geospatial Agency, which is an intelligence organization, have a very close relationship. The NGA is basically an institution that was recently created in order to monitor all internet activities, not just on the first level or the second, or what we call the 3-dimension of the internet. The 3-dimension of the internet means the life space of it.
No, I understand. So we got to go to break, Dr. Pachenik. And by the way, the whole victim thing is, we are being victimized. These are evil people. We have to raise the alarm and then the solution. I'm going to find me a reckless woman with razor blades and dice in her eyes. But before I find the reckless woman, I got to steal me a silver stallion. You know, the thing is, I'll tell people a little secret here, and I'll go back to Pachenik and you because I'm ranting. I thought about not doing the show 10 years ago because I wasn't trying to expand. I just wanted to be a talk show host that exposed globalism and thought other people would stand up and other smart people would take action, which has happened. And then they just messed with me so hard and tried to destroy me. I said, well, I'm going to get really big in their face. And now I could never quit because they wouldn't just let me go into abstention or you. They're going to just lie and never stop. I don't know how they found so many petty people who have a hard-on specifically for America, for free market, and for just being decent and telling the truth. I mean, I don't know. Is it something? What's wrong with them, Milo?
There's something weird about every major CNN host. I don't know where they grow these people, but there's something. I just get that sort of like, I get the ick. You know, when you're like when you're dating and somebody does something really disgusting and suddenly you can never see them sexually again. Or when you see somebody on television and they just make you shudder and cringe and you get that sort of flash of disgust and fear and horror.
Yeah, why doesn't Brian Stelter know? And he
look at it.
He releases these photos.
Stop it. Take it away.
There's a bunch of, I found, that's for, there's new ones. To type in Brian Stelter and hit Google Images.
Don't.
There's one where he does it.
Type it. Do not type
He
it.
looks like It the Clown. I mean, he doesn't know that is like, I am a full-born maniac.
The dancing clown.
and there's clowns and the popcorn down here. And you look at it. Look at that face.
You're on a balloon.
The thing is, he releases these photos himself. This is official photos.
He looks like that on purpose.
Seriously, Dr. Pachenik, you're a psychiatrist, but you know somebody when they've got that lunatic, whatever the face is, it's like I mean, if I saw somebody and they're like, I'd be like, look at my firearm. I mean, you know, it's like, I'm a total psychopath. Ryan Stelter. I really like I'm Brian Stelter.
Stop it.
CNN likes you. I mean,
stop it.
Well, that's the face.
Yes,
that
right.
smile is, I'm not really showing you this, but that's who I really am. That's what I really do, Stelter. Son of a bitch. Sorry.
Rank your 3 spookiest CNN hosts. Who's number 1?
Stelter.
2.
Cooper.
3.
Como, just because he's a knuckle-dragging thug. I'd love to see you.
Not a bad list. Not a bad list. Don't let me.
I'm going to go back to, as a psychiatrist, that look on Stelter's face that he does everywhere says, I'm invincible. I'm in a lunatic power trip. I mean, I know you're not supposed to. We have the what's the rule that goes back to Goldwater? You're not supposed to diagnose somebody from afar, but looking at Stelter, what do you make of him and his behavior?
He's not relevant. I mean, people who are dangerous.
He's not relevant. He looks like a serial killer. You can put his face on a horror movie package.
With all due respect, I've had a whole ward of serial killers. They're usually pretty quiet.
I know, I'm being sarcastic.
They don't say anything. So
he's not out the weekends carving people up.
I don't know, sometimes.
Again, the Stony, the Sandy Hook and this Parkland, they're all false flags. And what you're looking at is the nonsense of the vestiges of the press trying to be relevant, as well as the FBI and a crooked. What you really
how long does this ghost dance go on then?
Well, the ghost dance goes on as long as the collusion between the state and the federal and the local individuals who want money is going to continue. And I don't think that's going to be very long, because what's happening in effect is that they've focused away, the entire news spectrum has focused away from the real issues, impending war in the Middle East. I've got an internal disruption in the White House where someone may be leaving, like McMaster, go to Fort Benning. There may be a problem of John Kelly leaving. So you've got all this distraction, intentional or unintentional, going on, but you are becoming more and more relevant. So is Milo. Let me ask you this very question. When would a Milo have come onto an Alex Jones show 17 years ago? Think of how much progress has been made. And
I know you're being positive. I'm just saying without the audience.
No, but I'm talking about such a paradigm shift in this country that a certain individual as bright as Milo, with his own background, with a British background, and Paul Watson can come on an American show and articulate very clearly what we Americans want in the heartland. You're not talking about Harvard. You're not talking about Berkeley. Yeah, right. You're talking about Texas and Austin. Now, you can go around like that, and that's what we call the hebephrenic schizophrenic, but they are not teachers.
That's what I'm asking. Looking at that face Stelter always makes, I've noticed lunatics like who are delusional, like they make that face. I know some crazy people. And they make that face. They walk around like that constantly. We have a name for it. It's a you-know-what-eating grin. What? Does he not know? That's not even the bad ones, guys. Go. You know what? Keep going, Doctor. No, Milo, you host for a minute. I got to go find the right photo. Go ahead. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
We will be putting no more.
Dr. Pachinik, I want to get into sex operatives and the president. Start telling us about that.
Fine. Go ahead, Doctor.
I got to find Stelter.
What did he say, Milo? I'm sorry.
Sex operatives and the president. He'd like your view on that.
I don't think there are many sex operatives in the president. The president had a history.
Well, it's an easy way, isn't it, to get at Trump by spreading around stories of his dalliances because it's so eminently believable.
I know, but it's so irrelevant, Milo, as you would know.
Well, none of his fans care. Would a single person who voted for Donald Trump give a stuff that he'd been in the Beverly Hills Hotel with a model? No, they'd say, go Donald.
That's exactly it. That's his personal life. We're not interested. What we are interested in is, number one, why isn't there an effective infrastructure deal? Number two, what are you going to do about the fact that Bibi is going to be indicted and we don't need a war in the Middle East, and Iran has already taken over Iraq, Iran, Lebanon, and Syria, and we're going to have a two-front war, which we have to decide very quickly, as McMaster's being thrown out of the White House and John Kelly may be thrown out of the White House. So those are the things, Milo, that we really have to think about quickly, because the mainstream media doesn't give a damn. They don't understand it. You understand it, Milo. You come from a background where you understand it. You come from a country that's been attacked. This country has never had the hardships that England had to endure, not only before World War II, the World War I, World War II. I mean, you lost over 3 million of your men in the first 90 days of World War I in England. Americans have no concept what that means. And when, if it's true, 17 kids died, and I doubt that. How do you compare that with 69,000 kids who are dying on heroin every day? We are having thousands dying on heroin. How do you compare that with
the 70-plus veterans that commit suicide? And I'm not I think mass shootings happen. They misrepresent what I say. I know they do the fake baby incubator stuff, so those good things go on. All I know is they're deplatforming us, saying I said that, not my guest, and doing it, and that is very dangerous for free speech. But
Alex, you can incriminate me because I went to the Harvard supervisor, so-called trained, the Harvard psychiatrist who did that phony profile, Adam Lanza, and they admitted it was phony. The guy trained behind me at Harvard. And that area, mass mental, is gone. And Yale Medical School is in trouble. They were the same ones who said that Trump was crazy. And we warned them, if you continue, you're going to get lawsuits. So in effect, what you're doing, step back a little bit. Milo understands it. I want you to know that you're much more effective when we attack specific targets. Right now, the specific target is the White House. It's in turmoil. We don't see it.
Well, let's come back and talk about that and get your take and Milo's take, because it was Roger Stone said 6 months ago McMaster's in trouble and all this other stuff. So he's been dead on about that. You talk about the turmoil. From your information, I mean, how do you think Trump's doing, or what's your word on them? We'll come back and get Pachenik's take on that.
What seems to be a state of perpetual crisis in there, doesn't it? You know, it's sort of united only by the transcendent iron will of one man who is singularly responsible for the train's wheels keeping on turning, but everything else around him sees
the Trumpian juggernaut.
Right, indeed. Otherwise, it seems to be a state of sort of perpetual fear, crisis, and paralysis. But I mean, I come from the stop it.
I'm Brian Stelter. I'm Brian Stelter, CNN reporter.
I come from the point of view that the less the government does, the better. So a White House which doesn't get us into any more wars and doesn't pass any new legislation is all right by me.
Where do you think the winder goes on him? Is it on his back? Like a white wind-up?
Yes, so that when somebody's... Actually, I can't say that because we go out to radio stations, but I'm just that he could be wound up at the same time as getting... Never mind.
All right, we're going to go to break. Oh, briefly, they're trying to shut us down. We're under total attack. Got great supplements. I never came up with new specials this week. So we got all the 50% off, basically all the top-selling products, and it's about to have to end. Infowarstore.com. If you find us, we can continue. If not, Brian Stelter will win. So, buy lots of products, or Brian Stelter is going to have his way with you.
I don't know what will.
This is the song you play just before you take the pills.
Just before you take the pills, you put this on and drift away into the eternal sleep.
You know, I know a lot of inside baseball. You know, there was almost a military coup against Obama, and they killed a lot of people that were looking into it. This country's in a lot of deep crap. So we sit here and we see all this going on, and I just hope the public, while we joke around, I do it too. People, audience gets mad when I joke around. But, you know, I'm going to go crazy if I don't joke around, because this is hardcore crap. And Dr. Pachenik, I really appreciate you coming on with us. I am worried, too, about Trump and sex operatives because, you know, red-blooded American, his wife's beautiful, wonderful. Obviously, she's quite the, let's just say if she was a car, she's not street legal. So the point is that they're trying to destroy our great president. And you're right, there's a bunch of weasels in the hen house there. And we just hope Papa Wolf can deal with them. But seriously, what's the intel on Trump right now and the sex operative stuff? Because I am worried about that, you know.
Nobody's worried about is, Milo correctly said it, nobody cares whether he had sex or is having sex. That's not even relevant to his president.
Better be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The only good thing Bill Clinton ever did was with that cigar. I mean, you're going to be president.
All right, let's stop. I apologize. It's a Christian show. Go ahead, Dr. Pachenik, sorry.
With all due respect, I think the real issue right now is there's a lot of pressure going on internally, as Milo said, and that is McMaster will probably have to leave, and hopefully they'll bring him into Fort Bragg or make his active duty command status enhanced or allow him to go somewhere else. At the same time, what we cannot afford, and that's a serious consideration, and that is John Kelly leaving. We cannot afford to have a military general.
By the way, you were right. That was a sophisticated psyop against Kelly that I was buying into, and you straightened me out on it. Turns out he's been really good.
He has been phenomenal, and it wasn't something I tried to sell. It was something I was just trying to sell.
I make mistakes, so when I'm wrong, I'm going to admit it. Turns out Kelly, because I'm not used to like having access to the White House, so I don't get involved in all the fights wanting to have the access, and it just is so much intramural BS that goes on there.
Well, what happens is the person who has to go, and I've said it from day one, and I've said two things, and this is why your show is more important than you realize. It's very prescient. Number one, the person who has to go from day one, I said, is the Orthodox Jew, Jared Kushner.
And you said he's on the Chinese payroll, and now Mueller's saying, oh, not Russia, China, which is off his mandate, but you called it a year and a half ago.
Right, and I said that he has to go because he has a criminal offense against him. He knows he's received 2 loans from Bank Leumi in Israel and a major Israeli insurance company. Plus, he's on the ropes for $1.9 billion with the Chinese. The Chinese just threw out the company Ambang, and they took it over directly. In short, this is a criminal who's in the White House, who has been incompetent, duplicitous, and totally dysfunctional. At the same time, we've had the civilian-military conflict, which was unnecessary. He cannot have a security clearance. We have a man who's literally absorbed all of the petty fights and continues to stay in there, John Kelly, simply because he serves our country. And so it is with General Mintz, and so it is with other generals. We will try to put in some other people like Vodal or Pompeo, who's director of the CIA, was #1 at West Point, #1 at Harvard Law. And we need this in the White House. Otherwise, we cannot exist on a second by second, as
exactly.
Miles.
And it is true that McMaster, we've confirmed this, we broke it and it came out later, he just gets drunk and just shoots his mouth off like he's got a 70 IQ or something. So, I'm sorry.
On the list, you're correct. But from the day one, we had a problem with him, but we knew we had to move him out because of dereliction of duty. What we were waiting for was the temperance, the amount of time that was required to have Kelly stabilize the White House and at the same time see what happened to Porter and Landowski. Plus,
all right. Finish that point. Well, I tell you, Metallica knows how to say it. Out of my way. Satan, get behind me. CNN, behind me.
You're repeating yourself.
Milo, you've been a real champ sitting here while I freak out. I can't handle it anymore.
This is the best seat in the house. I get to see it firsthand. I get up close and personal. I don't have to watch it on TV. Are you kidding?
Well, reading this CNN thing, they say that I say no one died and that I bullied children. Mm-hmm. And these are, meanwhile, handpicked anti-gun zealots in the acting class, all this stuff. Spewing this, and then they're in a political world, and then they misrepresent what I've said, don't show it, and then are banning us on YouTube. Infowars is 2 strikes away from being banned from YouTube. Well, they just did 2 more. So I guess we're going to get the word in one channel with billions and billions and billions of views. And all that work and all those archives and all those interviews, gone. And half the conservatives out there are like, good, stop taking over the whole internet, Alex. There'll be more room for us. Not having no idea the shark just took a bite out of me. Now it's going to come eat them.
There are 2 mistakes that conservatives are making. One is that if they take you out, there'll be more space for them. What they don't realize is that's literally not how an attention economy works. It's not how any economy works. You make the market bigger by being the leader, and you're huge, and there's still plenty of space to
Elvis made rock and roll bigger. Led Zeppelin made rock and roll bigger, not smaller.
Exactly. It's not like you're the
rock and roll's dying because the music industry's killing it because the CIA decided to kill it.
It's not the only, you're not the only thing in town. It's not like you're the only thing on television and there's no room for anybody else. There are 100, 200 million Americans out there who don't have anything quite right to listen to because they either don't know about you yet or you're not to their taste or whatever. But there is a gigantic market for regular high quality conservative programming. The more successful you are, the more opportunities there are for a Breitbart TV, for a Daily Caller TV. All of this comes with increased success of any of the people in the movement. They make the same mistake about you as they do about me. Take them out and maybe I'll get my shot. No. The stronger we are, the more likelihood that the also
exactly, and they don't get that it's a non-zero sum game.
Exactly. And the other thing that they don't understand is, as you say, and as we discussed earlier in the show, they believe that there's a sort of cutoff point, that there's a dotted line beyond which they can throw people to the wolves because, well, the left is sort of right about them. They are a bit crazy. They are a bit edgy. They do go over the top. They don't have bow ties and nice manners, and they don't show up to the right dinner party. So we'll let them go as a sop to the left, as a cost of doing business, and because we don't really like them anyway because they're more popular than we are. And then the left will stop at a certain point. the left will not stop at a certain point. The left will come for you next, and you will be the ones that, next it will be, it will be Breitbart, then it will be the whatever. And then all the way down the bottom of the food chain, the unread, unloved, but establishment-friendly Weekly Standard and National Review. They'll go last, and the left will be licking their lips while they take them. And all because these people didn't.
They'll be on their knees with no one else to help them.
And you do not have to believe or agree with any of what we say. You just have to have a brain and realize that free speech is an absolute. You either stick up for it or you don't. And as soon as your values are compromised and you allow people who believe most of the same stuff you do and who are effective at spreading those messages to a different audience from yours, if you allow people who are allies, whether you like to call them allies or not, people who are allies in the service and the defense of freedom to fall, you will fall next.
And that's common sense historically as well.
Of course.
But, I mean, take this. Dr. Pachenik ran the Camp David Accords, the only good Middle East peace deal ever. He ran overthrows of governments. I mean, he gets called into federal court, stuff he says on the show, for, serious, stuff he's been involved in. So when he starts saying, this is fake, that's fake, I mean, look, they said that they were throwing babies out of incubators. It was made up. The point is that NORAD stood down on 9/11. I mean, we all know this. The 28 pages proves everything we said. The point is that Trump reportedly is straight shooting, trying to end all that, but he's got all these agencies under him trying to run Bay of Pigs operations to embarrass him. I mean, it's a nightmare situation trying to clean this country up, and we've kind of pushed the globalists out into the light to admit who they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a great positive. So I agree with Pachenik that we are moving into positive waters compared to where we were. But still, when you know the anatomy of the fraud, and you know these people are scum, it's like, you talk about the gross thing a girlfriend does, or in your case, a boyfriend or something, and then it's just something clicks and it builds up.
You get the ick.
And you're dumb.
Yeah.
This is like 10 trillion times that. I get triggering now as I get older. I get more OCD. I didn't used to be.
You get triggered.
I can't look at Brian Stelter. I have to make a joke out of it. I don't watch these Kepler shows that attack us every night, and I don't watch these shows that attack us. I can't do it. People are like, don't you know Homeland's all about you? And they admit it. And I don't give a damn about, hey, X-Files episode's about you. I don't watch it. I mean, because I'm sick of looking at this ugly head. The point is that, but if you think I'm sick of looking at me, man, I'm really sick of these people. I want them out of my life.
You should watch the X-Files. It's a very flattering portrayal. He ends up being a good guy.
That's what I heard.
He's handsome, he's wealthy, Scully's got kind of a thing for him, and he's proven right in the end. I think Chris Carter's got your back on that.
No, Chris Carter says he's a listener and says I'm not a racist. No, he has a lot of courage. I'm not talking about myself. I'm saying the bizarreness of this huge war to misrepresent what we are. So, and then I can't even have a platform to respond, like you said, is cultural rape of the truth. And then I wonder, what's the end game? Because I know I'm not that important. They actually thought I was weak. That's like they thought Trump was weak. And that's why Hillary was like, oh, actually give Trump the coverage because I'll beat him easier. And it backfired. They thought like, oh, look, Trump likes Jones. That gave him bona fides. They didn't even, what Pachenik's right. They don't know what they're doing. It doesn't make it any less scary that you've got Cuomo going, I'm allowed to read WikiLeaks at CNN. You'll be arrested. He doesn't even know how insane he sounds. So what I'm saying is, they're in power. They've got the money. They are crazy. They are inept. But what do we do? Dr. Pachenik, what do we do?
Let me, in defense of the CIA and rock and roll, remember Julius Copeland was in police, and that was the son of the deputy director of the CIA.
No, I know the CIA helped launch rock and roll, and then then it was seen as too empowering, so they went with hip hop in the 90s. I've been with people that have been in the meetings. I know you were involved in some of that. You want to talk about classification? Let's talk about government control of music. Go ahead.
Let me explain something right now. Right now, while you're talking, General Kelly is going to make a decision within seconds or minutes of this show. Either he's going to allow Jared Kushner to stay in or he's going to throw him out. My bet is he's going to throw him out. Once Jared Kushner goes, we have another sequence of turmoil. But more importantly, if you look at the Google and let your people show it, the vulnerability of Google is huge. As I said to you, so was Fox when Disney took it over. What you have are vulnerable enemies trying to take you over because they can't defend themselves.
No. I know they're coming after us because we're kicking their ass up and down the street.
capability now. Google is literally has problems with its cloud, the Gmail, with everything internally. If you just say to Anonymous, come on in and help us out and attack Google, watch what happens.
All right, then I'll say it. I'm not perfect, but we're under attack, and whatever happens to us is fine. But I want Anonymous to attack all the globalists. I want CNN, Anonymous attack, legally and lawfully, of course. Go after these anti-free speech monsters and dogs of war, peacefully and lovingly, non-violently. Anonymous, help me, I'm weak. I told you the Jedi taking over. Sorry. Help me. Sorry.
We've lost him. We've lost him. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones has been retired to a padded room behind the studio.
It's an Emperor Palpatine joke. Killing me.
I'm just kidding.
I told you that.
Of course, it's a padded room.
Think of this for a minute, Alex. Think for just something very simple. The amount of energy that you have, not only in one show, but in shows that you've done for 17 continuous years. I want to see anybody on CNN collectively have that kind of energy that you exude in 17
Well, you're nice,
years.
but they're scripted vampires. Let's fit. Dr. Pachetti, you're awesome. Come back with us on the Sunday show, Monday show. You're wonderful. I'm going to come back and finish up with Milo. But a very positive transmission. Thank you, CNN. Thank you, CNN from Russia. CNN is on to me now. We're back live, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting worldwide. And I was just listening to some of the clips of Trump at CPAC. I was going to be playing these today. I was going to be all this amazing news to cover.
Yeah,
and Milo's here.
Perfect plans.
And then, yeah, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. And then it's CNN. CNN, we're trying to get Alex Jones banned on YouTube. He says no kids died in this video. And then the video's banned, and I didn't say that. Do you think I'm over? No, see, I made a big deal about when you got banned on Twitter. You're like, oh, big deal. Screw that guy, that flamboyant son of a bitch. You know, what the hell, man? They just banned him for saying he didn't like the Ghostbusters movie. That is super un-American. That is dangerous as hell. Excuse me.
Well, it's an example of the tech companies and media companies linking up and coordinating in full force to take out the people they consider the most dangerous to them. So Twitter, which has notoriously opaque policies, will selectively enforce.
And the left says they own gay people, so you're a good-looking, smart, gay, libertarian-type guy, and they were threatened when you were getting your average video 10 million views, so they've been trying to destroy him.
Right.
Which makes you a hero. Some of my listeners are super conservative, and I get it, I'm conservative, but I understand, I empathize, and I'm not like a Pharisee, okay? And so... I mean, you didn't back down. You were patient zero for the destruction of free speech, man. If people don't support you, they're idiots.
Well, thank you. But you know, what these technology companies will do is apply their own rules selectively, only to punish conservatives, and then the media can use something Twitter said about you, like we banned him for targeted harassment, to then accuse you of being a harasser. Well, no evidence was ever provided that you harassed anybody. It was just that Twitter banned you and gave a reason.
And CNN says I said no kids died, which is horse manure.
Well, that's an extra layer. That's an extra step. The extra step, you know, the social networks will enforce some bizarre, ill-defined rule, and ever after you have been branded a harasser.
And again, remember journalism where they'd show what you said, a quote? No quote, no video.
No quote, no video.
There's a secret video that's disappeared, and he said it, and he's gone.
The video's not there anymore, and you can't see it, and we're not showing it to you, but trust us, what it said, you know. No.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I should be able to say that if I wanted to. There's courts and lawsuits.
Here's the thing. Even if you...
But I didn't. I don't think that.
Even if you'd said it, who cares? The person who has to stand up for that, the person who has to justify that, the person who will bear the responsibility for that, the consequences of that speech is you.
And now they've got families, I'm told, we got the clips weighing in going, we're sick of Jones. How dare him say kids didn't die in Florida?
Right.
But I can't respond. I'm not allowed to talk about it. It's bullying.
But this is what's going to happen. You know, we're talking about platform segregated audiences versus in the old days where people would just get the New York Times and all the news would come from the New York Times. These days, you have an audience that's segregated by platform, people who prefer to get their news from specific places online. And then if they start lying about you on YouTube, your YouTube audience will never hear the correction. They will never.
That's why folks have to come to Infowars, and it's crazy. When we're under the most attack is when I don't plug. When we have the biggest events and the biggest audiences is when I don't. I'm an idiot. I just need everybody to, we've got products. I need you to go there and commit to the First Amendment and buy products at InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsLife.com. It's not a sales tag to keep saying last day of the sale. I've been so busy trying to launch the TV satellites, all the stuff we're doing, trying to hire the new crew and hire extra people and launch more shows and develop new broadcast and talk to radio and TV stations that I haven't come up with a new special on the toothpaste, on the Ickerman, on the Cell Force, on the Brain Force. We're talking 53% off on Cell Force. We're talking 50% off on the fluoride-free toothpaste with iodine and colloidal silver fortified. The reason, what I do is I do big sales, but then when something's about to sell out, it's not coming in for a few months, I'll leave it back at full price and make some money we need to fund the operation. I get so busy, then I don't. A lot of these sales will go until Monday, but some of them have to end because it's about to sell out. So when I tell you this stuff, it's not a tactic. Oh, the sale's been extended. I haven't been so busy. I haven't gone and looked at inventory and what we've got and what's come in. We've got 2 new products that have been in for a month. I am so busy, I have not even cut ads for them because I have a true lust for information and the news instead of the plugging in the products, which I do have a lust for high-quality products, so you can see that. InfoWarsStore.com, I need you to go there. I need you to buy the products. You've been doing it. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm like a dog in a fight. Dogs like to fight, and I've got ears bit off and an eyeball hanging out, and I love it. I'm just chomping and biting and everything. But you know what? I need a blood transfusion or I'll roll over. And maybe that's the good roll over, eyes point at the sky, and I'm in Valhalla. So I'm just saying, you guys, you all get it. So just, you flood me with money. I will, then all my stress at defeating them and the lawsuits and the harassment and the black op teams and the PIs and all of, which by the way is all enjoyable. It's kind of fun for me. It's like a video game. You do that and you just go, George Soros, you're blocked. Alex Jones physically isn't protected and spiritually is under attack, but at least when it comes to temporal finances, the free market still has some voice and trumps you. So I need you to play your ace of spades. InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsStore.com. The enemy is openly saying they want to ban us. The enemy is already demonetized us. They've already cut our YouTube videos down from, the average video 300,000 to the average video 30,000, literally. But it doesn't matter because, and here's some of my big frustrations. And we're going to continue on. Hagman's awesome. He should stay with us. But I need you to get into Bannon coming up. I've got to say this, though. I don't like giving out. I'm so truthful that I give out the intel. And when Paul pointed out we were beating everybody, they ran that headline everywhere, and they said, "Oh, it's true. They are beating us." And that's what. And I've given out so many secrets that their corporate people haven't even figured out. But I want to tell the audience what's going on. But then I noticed that I think they're as smart as I am or smarter. But they're actually not that smart, Milo. And that's why I don't want to actually sit there and tell people some of the stuff and where we're winning and what's going on and what we figured out, because then they figure it out and they go target it. Does that make sense?
I've been through exactly the same thing. It's a real struggle because you're saying to your audience, look, we are on attack on so many fronts. They are making it so expensive and complicated for us to just exist. But once you give specifics about what some of the specifics about some of the attacks, other people can replicate them. Other people can join in on the assault, It's like Breitbart never mentioned the Sleeping Giants attack because they didn't want to draw more attention to it and have more people whatever, which was smart. Unfortunately, it seems to be working anyway, and they've got like 4,000 advertisers to withdraw from Breitbart. I keep bringing that example up because it's the best one I know and one people will have heard of. You and I, in our respective organizations, in our careers, are under assault on like 50 fronts at once all the time. And it's designed to wear you down. It's a war of attrition designed to exhaust you.
Exactly. And our listeners,
and emotionally,
if they just flood us with prayers and support and finances, it literally, people overuse the word literally, it literally just, instead, I don't want to be worrying about money. I need to be attacking the enemy at the main guns. Speaking of the devil, which is money, you got your new book coming out. They are vitriolically trying to celebrate your destruction. And people ask, why is that, okay, fine, he's a good guy, but whatever, good Lord, we're all going to go to hell, that devil Milo on. The point is, you are a guy that has courage. And you know what? I'm not saying you're silly and ignorant, like the quote from Full Metal Jacket. Joker's silly and ignorant, but he's got guts, and guts is enough. You're not silly and ignorant. You're a smart guy. But you're effective. They fear you. People need to go to dangerous.com, pre-order the new book. And we'll talk about that when we come back with Doug Hagman, who's a total angel and who's awesome and so smart and lets me run over to the 4th hour he's been preparing for days to cover. So he'll be joining us straight ahead. Stay with us. You know, we have a lot of great hosts that come and contribute to Infowars, but Doug Hagman is one of my favorites. I've been listening to him for 10 years on Coast to Coast or longer, 12, 14 years. And then he has his own great show and just the production and everything. But I'd hear a lot of the stuff he'd talk about, and I didn't disbelieve him. It's just I've learned I love people that really have sources and it's not BS. And he's got such incredible sources, and he's a real trooper. Because I asked him to come to the show once a week, and half the time I take it over. But I have talked to Doug, and I've had a bunch of family stuff go on because of the behind-the-scenes stuff they're doing. I'm not complaining. It's just unbelievable. I want to develop him doing a nighttime show. We're talking to you about doing a show. But Doug is just amazing. He's such a humble guy as well. And he's here with us now, and I wanted to pick his brain. He's supposed to be hosting the whole hour about the intel we're getting, the attempt to kill the president last week we got from high-level sources. And I mean, these are real sources. But then the sledgehammer of, and I didn't see it. You don't see the attack when you're not involved in it. The intel's rolling in, ABC News, CBS News, NBC News, Kepler, and Comedy Central. They're saying we said nobody died at the shooting, and they're saying I attacked children. And then they don't show a clip. So they're not just trying to ban us off YouTube, and CIA Anderson Cooper, we'll play this Kepler clip in a moment. They're making their move, and then it all clicks, and I get embarrassed because I'm supposed to be on top of stuff. But, yeah, you get tomorrow's news today a lot of times here, but sometimes we are the news after we get run over. They have announced with News Corp and with Time Warner, they're taking the internet over. They're ending free speech in the next year. Everyone's site will be not allowed on any major platforms, period. And they have and they're saying Infowars is and I saw this in the Wall Street Journal a week ago, and I didn't believe it. A week and a half ago. And now CNN is saying, we're filing complaints to ban Infowars. They bullied children and said no one died. And then they won't show the video or the quote. And now that it's all flooding in, they're shutting our channels down right now. And it's all over the news that I said no kids died, and they won't show the clip because it didn't happen. I mean, this is quantum leap fake news, Milo. This is quantum level. And
it's another level from what they've been trying over the last couple of months.
So exactly. So I appreciate you staying late, and I apologize 5 times to Doug Hagman for running over. He's a champ. Let's do it. Doug, I'm just poleaxed, and I'm not being a victim here. I'm shocked by the level of the brazenness because they go in the Wall Street Journal. We've decided to start with Infowars, the takeover of the internet where only big corporations can be seen. We're going to say they're all Russians and we'll make billions more. And then a week later it begins, and it's all based on law. I mean, I've read history books about the Soviet Union, the Nazis and stuff. They were child's play, but they're being rejected. No one's buying into it. It's just so epic. Doug, what do you say to this, my friend?
Well, Alex, thanks. And Milo, big fan. You know, something that as I listen to you and I'm hearing what you're saying, I thought of a good friend of mine, Coach Dave Dobbemeyer, and he had told me a number of years ago, the truth becomes hate speech to those who hate the truth. And that is so true today. The fact that they are attempting to shut you down, that they're trying to shut us down, they're trying to silence all conservatives. We're in a war.
They're attacking us. We're under attack.
Absolutely. And the very thing that's happening to you has been happening to us and is happening to us. Everything that we say on our show, that I say, for example, on the various shows, including your platform, I see contemporaneously in lawsuits filed against me. I've got to defend against the lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits for defamation and everything else. Lawfare is unrestricted. The abusive process within the court system, it's just beyond anything that I've ever seen before. It's ratcheted up now. and now we've got to essentially go in the offensive. And I
was about to say, Pachenik's right. He used to run the overthrow of governments. We got to start hitting hard. I mean, I'm just not somebody that goes out and assaults people politically, but I'm very good at it. I'm going to take the gloves off. How do we take the gloves off, Doug? And I want to ask Milo.
Well, I think what Milo said, I think it's the vulnerability or the vulnerable enemies there. We've got to rally the troops, I guess. That's the only way we're going to survive in this. We've got to stick together. We've got to just circle the wagons and
rally the
all
troops
together. You know, that's it. Otherwise, we're going to hang separately. You know, the old saying. So we've got to work together to fight the censorship, I believe, because if we don't,
I mean, they're communist cop. They say kill cops. We can't even send reporters to the Capitol. Communists with guns won't let them go in. I mean, it's just, and the cops, the local cops, these are groups that want to kill them. Say, sorry, Alex, we can't help you. We've been told not to. I mean, I'm pissed, man.
The good news is that the vast majority of the American public does not agree with what they're doing, whether or not they share your politics.
No, I agree. I'm just realizing we're in the middle of like the Bolshevik Revolution, but it's globalist. If we don't recognize this like the Russians didn't recognize it up front, we're done. Because I know we think we're winning and we got some things going with Trump, but man, I think we've just mobilized the scum, and then we realize we are up against true filth.
Yeah. I mean, I just had to postpone a talk in Phoenix that was supposed to happen tomorrow. The reason I'm able to stay an extra day.
I remember they canceled it.
The reason I'm able to stay an extra day with you is that my talk in Phoenix has been postponed because Antifa found out the promoter found out the venue, showed up at the guy's house, threatened his girlfriend, papered the streets, said they were going to call and harass everybody involved, everybody associated, because they're trying to make the prize targets, the most dangerous warriors, they're trying to make them untouchable. So you can't do business, you know?
Exactly. So what do we do, Doug? I mean, I don't want to spill their blood because they're cockroaches. I just don't know how long the president puts up with this, how long we do. I'm ready for the military to go in and because they've all arrest everybody that's on the Chinese payroll. I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on this. We've got to fight back. We cannot show any signs of weakness whatsoever, in my view, anyway. We can never settle, whether it's in a lawfare venue. We can't settle. We cannot settle for anything but full frontal.
There's been an attack at the White House. Sorry, Secret Service, no law enforcement injured. Somebody tried to attack the White House. I'm sorry. Just so much breaking news. Fade this up, guys. Secret Service, no.
It's very clear. It looked like she was trying to drive up that driveway on the southwest side of the White House, which enters the complex here for people who are coming in to either work here or, members of Congress will come in through that entrance as well and drive into West Executive Drive to come into the White House. We don't know why she was trying to get in there or if it was some sort of accident or medical condition. We're trying to find that out for you, Shep.
Yeah, that may just be a person off their medication or diabetes, who knows, or maybe a jihadi attack. Sorry, Mr. Hagman, go ahead.
No, that's an important story. I think, look, the war's on right now, and it's on against you and I. It's on against everyone, every conservative out there, every truth teller out there. And, of course, I'm not sure I can even add to what you and Milo had said. This is an incredible environment in which we find ourselves. And I think we need to fight back, but we need to do so in a very intelligent, very precise manner. And we cannot allow ourselves, I think, to get too far off the mark in terms of how we fight. We can't show our hand. We cannot. I like what Milo said. The fact that if we give too much information out, the others can replicate the attacks. What works, what doesn't. The louder we yell about things, it's.
Exactly. The bottom line is we're dealing with real authoritarians in open calls to ban us. That has not happened before. And they're trying to do it right now and are doing it. I mean, all I'm saying is we have to, the listeners, what you said, rally the troops. If people don't recognize this as the biggest assault on free speech in U.S. history, I mean, this is
The problem is that the various branches of the left, all of whom cover for and advocate for each other, the worst, most violent bits, Antifa, are excused by the leftist establishment and funded by the same leftist donors who fund the left-wing.
CNN and others say Antifa, it's okay to be violent to somebody.
Almost unprecedented. And my worry is we're all out here saying we hate violence, we hate the violence of the left, we hate violence in response to ideas and speech. All we want is to be able to express ourselves. I don't know how long this country can bear being under that much oppression and authoritarianism.
Well, we're armed to the teeth. Doug Hagman's riding shotgun with us. We got Milo Yiannopoulos here. Patient zero for being censored. They said he was the test case. Now for the next huge total internet takeover. I mean, I'm not just saying they're announcing the end of the free internet. They have all these fake debates about net neutrality. We had net neutrality before. Obama came in to take over the internet, gave liability protection to the big telecoms and big computer companies and big social networks to censor. Then Trump wasn't for that and repealed it, but now it's nebulous. And Rupert Murdoch is, when I say crawled, I don't want to be gross, but I mean, the only brown nosing is one thing. We're talking about like a possum. You ever seen a possum go on a dead cow on the side of the road? I mean, I'm not saying Trump's a dead cow. If Rupert Murdoch could be crawling up the rear end of the president, he would be doing it. And I say that to troll people, but daily conversations, okay? Murdoch is just groveling now when he was a Hillary supporter. And so I'm in this nightmare position where I know Trump's good, I know he's awake, I know he's involved, but these are the people wanting to censor him. They already tried to take Fox leftist. It failed, so they went back to what made him successful. And now Disney's taking it over, and Murdoch is in the news with his CEO going, newspapers are going to do great because we're going to shut everybody else down and you'll only be able to get our feeds on the internet now. And I'm like, what in Hades? And then Google is taking directives from Murdoch and his CEO because now they have right-wing cover. So I'm saying the knives are out, folks. They're carving the Christmas pig up here. And I don't just say this, oh, it's all of you. They're going to get all of you. I don't even care about me. Okay, I'm a little bit fatalistic. I have this mission I have to carry out. I'm not going to give up, but I'm not suicidal. I want to live forever. But at the same time, it's kind of like a job to be honorable and work hard. And I'm just telling you, they've incrementally censored, diddled, manipulated, this and that banned over here. But now here it is. We're taking over. Blah! And it's here. So asking Milo, asking Doug Hagman, Doug, if you'll come on Sunday, I want to get you on with me for the Sunday show. I don't know. We need to freak out. We need to check him with the head cut off. And then target. But I'm just letting the listeners know this is history book stuff. I keep saying that, Milo.
Yeah. No, it is. And this is an example of one of those moments in time where regime change, if you like, happens quietly and slowly and almost while nobody is noticing. The incremental erosion of rights in America has started to accelerate in the last 5 or 10 years. You know, the assaults on the First Amendment, the assaults on the Second Amendment, the voices who are calling attention to those assaults being snuffed out on social media. And it's, I think it's relatively unprecedented in a large, free, democratic nation for all of the institutions in that country, the academy, journalism, the media, the entertainment industry, politics, everyone.
That's what it is to see them all involved in criminal activity and lies. It's like it hurts you, not for you, but the sense of justice. It's like, Jesus, my country's this overrun? I thought I knew how bad. I thought it was a few controllers.
But this is why you're upset. It's why you get upset on the show. It's why you speak with such forcefulness. Because the thing that really upsets you and produces general outrage, not the kind of outrage you see on Twitter, but real outrage, is a sense of injustice, a sense of unfairness. And when you see these various powerful, massive, interconnected organs of American society militating against some of the only people who are
and taking radical,
it produces an indignation because you feel the injustice, and so does the public. That's why they voted for Trump.
Exactly, and even though they're oversampling up to 15 points for Democrats, he's at 50%. That means 65. Yeah. What are they going to do, Doug? I guess this is their desperate act, because, I mean, openly going at Hitler-level censorship, people overuse Hitler. This is Hitlerian. To do this is a bold move, Doug.
Yeah, and my question to both of you conversationally here is can we play by the rules? First of all, what are the rules?
They're always changing.
Yeah, and if can we afford to play by the rules? Because if we do, we're going to be silenced anyway.
And that's it. So you just said it. They're forcing us to really they think they're nasty and dirty because they get into that. Good people don't like to use those weapons, but we're the masters of it. So is that what you're saying?
This is why conservatives typically don't succeed in culture war fights, because they know how to fight dirty, and because they're honorable, they choose not to.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing this to be threatening. I think I'm gonna go ahead and access the dark side. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Doug, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Peel back the fake face minority report style, like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I'm going to be nice. Doug, but it does trigger parts of the brain. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I'm there. I'm right there with you. Look, I don't know what the answer is. I do know that we're all, again, as you said, not to rehash this, but we're all under attack. We've been under attack.
We're in a corner, and we're not going to roll over like people in Nazi Germany. You sons of bitches, you're about to get it. Phil Mudd, all of you people. Just get that through your goddamn head, you son of a bitch. Sorry, go ahead. That's who's behind all this. Sorry. Go ahead, Doug. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. I feel the same way. I really do. And the way I'm looking at this is attempting to formulate some sort of a response. Because when you shout and no one listens, when you call 911 and no one comes, what do? We're being forced in that corner. And again, I go back to that statement: the truth becomes hate speech to those who hate the truth. What are they trying to silence? What are they so afraid of? Are they that afraid of us? And I do say they are. They're that afraid of the truth coming out.
Because we're promoting the American dream.
Right.
It's interesting you say that, actually, when you call 911, excuse me. It's 999 in England, so it always gets messed up in my head. 911, which is what you have here. When you call and nobody comes, the American people have seen the corruption of law enforcement. You know, people coming to hear my college talks and the police standing down and allowing Antifa to do $500,000 worth of damage to Berkeley, $100,000 worth of damage to the college. They've seen the people employed, paid, who are supposed to be dedicated to keeping the public safe, stand back and let people get beaten up and pepper sprayed to protect the feelings of leftists. They've seen literally...
My feelings are hurt. I'm going to hit you in the head with a bike lock.
And that, of course, was a professor. Was a member of the faculty at Berkeley in a black mask with a bike lock.
And here's the thing, I'm not against betas. But he's a little beta rat trying to be an alpha male, and then alphas sit back because we're confident. I think what Doug's getting at is, when does the big dog, fat dog, get off the porch?
When do you, it's sort of, you get nipped by little minnows so many times, you know, sooner or later you have to bat them away in some fashion.
But I had a top globalist off record tell me, he goes, Alex, you think all these nicks make people wake up? That's because you should join us. You're awake. He goes, the public is going to become conditioned and evolve to accept this. And I just can't believe humanity's crap.
I think there's a spirit in human beings, a need for freedom, a desire to express themselves. And I think the First and Second Amendment, this country has been so successful because it's founded on principles that are innate to the human spirit.
That empower individuals.
Exactly, which is what,
we're defending classic Americana, and they're openly pushing classic tyranny. And how is it not clear, Doug?
It should be clear to every thinking American. The problem is we don't have enough thinking Americans. We don't have enough people, I think, that care enough. You know, it's almost as if not enough people have yet been affected by this. The silent majority. Look, I really believe there are a number of great people out there. The majority of people in the United States are great people. They're freedom-loving people.
But they're too humble to take action because they think taking action is arrogant. No, it's survival. Awaken and take action now. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right. No, you're exactly right. We've been playing too nice. We've been playing by a set of rules that they keep changing that we really don't know what they are. So now I think we have to become more offensive to get the truth out there. We have to demand accountability of our officials. I know that sounds like some sort of a trite statement, but
no. But if you march down to the congressman's event or woman's event, if you go to if you go there and it's not just my one reporter being attacked by 15 guys with guns and the police look on. And I actually had to call the military off, actually, on those Antifa. That's insane. The military is not going to put up with this much longer.
It does seem to me that libertarians and conservatives in this country are going to have to do what they've typically been squeamish about doing, which is showing out en masse in public to protest it.
I've watched Antifa punch somebody. When they hit back, they complain. It's like, you're supposed to, this is a video game. I'm supposed to kick your, no, I'm going to break your jaw, brother.
Yeah. But, you know, conservatives, you know, libertarians, Republicans, whatever, have typically been reticent to show out in large numbers on the streets. Protesting is a left-wing thing, right? The Women's March, all the rest of it. Seems to me that that we need to put that aside now. And
no, I agree. America is in an emergency, is in a civil war. They're trying to shut us down online. I agree. That's the answer. I'm hitting the streets now every day.
That'll be exciting.
All right, Milo, I appreciate you coming into town. Dangerous.com. Doug Hagman, HagmanReport.com. Doug, we love you. Thank you for coming in and letting us hijack the broadcast. Please join me as soon as you can. HagmanReport.com.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
Yeah. Infowars.com. Yeah.
If you don't watch it, you're going to end up like Jason Adderley's boy. Deal me out this hand, Jason. I'm about to bust. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the bathroom. Oh, good Lord.
Scanning. Control. Manipulate scientific data. Take over. Blast. Control. World government. Shut down infrastructure. Ship everything to China. Just look at this person.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
New from Emmerich's Essentials, fragrance-free natural deodorant for your body care needs. Playing basketball in the dry summer heat really makes me sweat. To maintain my game, I need all the confidence I can get. That's why I use Emmerich's Essentials natural deodorant. Made with organic ingredients, this deodorant combines mineral crystals with natural botanicals to ionize odor, keeping me fresh throughout the day. While shooting hoops, the last thing I want is sweaty armpits making my hands slippery and the ball wet. That's why I recommend Emmerich's Essentials fragrance-free deodorant. Even though it's unscented, it's effective at combating strong body odor, and I don't have to worry about any unwanted allergic reactions to my sensitive skin. Whether you're a guy or gal, the last thing you want to be worried about is your deodorant. No petroleum-based ingredients, 100% natural and cruelty-free. Stay in the game with Emmerich's Essentials fragrance-free natural deodorant. Available at InfowarsStore.com.